this will be the third attempt that I've tried to actually stream, and hopefully OBS is actually working. I've got the preview going. I can see the preview, which is good. Okay. So I think that's working there. All right. Let's give this... Hey, there we go. I actually have video this time around. Awesome. Okay. Well, that was...
Nothing like a reboot to help.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on with OBS, but... Dear
It's the
Lord.
digital version of needing a nap and a snack.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're in. All right. Thank God. Okay. Why was this such an issue? I don't know. Okay. That's what we'll do. Let's get these windows adjusted now that I have to completely reset half of what I was doing. Isn't that wonderful?
It is.
Okay, there we go. Okay, finally. Holy moly. Don't know what was going on with OBS there. That was strange. Okay, so first on the docket, I was going to finish getting my foot. Hey, what's going on, brother, man? Oh. That was a lot of stress. I don't know what was going on. OBS did not want to cooperate and give me any kind of video feed, so I had to figure out how to get that sorted. So if you were waiting on me, I deeply apologize. How do I want this rock oriented? I feel like that'd work. Okay. So Wilson, what you been up to?
Mic off.
Hopefully having a good time with your massive army of flamers you're preparing. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, I've also got to clear out my backlog of streams now. It shows I've got like 9, which is hilarious. I had to set this stream up, and it did not want to work for me at all. I'll work on the toe here in a second. OBS did not want to show any kind of video for whatever reason, so that was an annoyance in and of itself. So I had to figure that out. Not much, really. Waiting for some kit bash bits to arrive and then get started on my white scars. Nice. What kit bash bits are you waiting on?
Nope. I don't think there's a ball bearing in here.
You don't have a ball bearing?
Mm-mm.
But do you have a bearing on your balls? A little bit more of this rock shaping to do.
There it goes.
So, Eddie and Josh, you guys remember that guy I was telling you about that was joining the chat that said he was working on an army of white scars that's got 62 flamers in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just hopped in the chat, says he's just waiting on some bits for a kit bash to arrive, and he's going to get started on his white scars.
Man, white scars are gay.
Yay. Be nice. We like the con. Jacket's Icon's pretty dope.
What about Kublai Khan?
Kublai Khan? I mean, in history, he's kind of gay. You do know you have another live waiting for you. Yes. Okay. I've been having issues with OBS today, trying to figure out what's going on with setting up the live stream, and I've tried to clear out some of those older ones that was set up, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just remove that if I can. All right, let's pull up YouTube Studio. It's going to have to be what I have to do then. Okay. Let's just get this sorted now. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, thanks for the heads up. Okay, you said shoulder pads, cloaks, thunderhammers, shields, exhaust tips with flames. Ooh. That sounds awesome, actually. Dad, have you had the pleasure of meeting the Khan yet in the books?
Only very briefly, I believe.
Gotcha.
I just like that spot where he basically tells Bolden to fuck off.
Everybody likes that spot. It's because it's a good spot. I have to admit. Getting some special cloaks. I wonder, whenever you get those pieces in, you're going to have to let me see, because I'm very curious to see what you do with your white scars, my guy.
I hear you do something special to your men. What did he say?
So it's like, Fulgrim goes, I hear you do strange things to your ships. And then he goes, I hear you do strange things to your men.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, right then.
The Khan is a Chad. I mean, they don't cover that kind of stuff in the Warhammer books, but you know the Khan gets around.
Makes me want to go watch Star Trek too.
Wrong Khan, but yes.
Is there a right con?
Well, there's pros and cons.
I thought you were going to come with the retcon.
That's funny. I should have. That would have been a better joke.
Who's the red con?
The cloaks are primal hounds with fur and wolf parts. Ooh. That'd look really cool. That would look really, really good.
Who's the red con?
Well, the retcon, you know, he's a controversial figure, the retcon.
You said ret. I thought you said red, as in the color.
No, he was saying retcon.
Retcon.
My bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I thought you were just making a joke.
No, I was like, oh, I don't watch Star Trek, so I was like, oh, maybe this is something cool. And
Oh.
There is Khan, which Khan's pretty cool. Genetically engineered super soldier from the late 2000s who wages war against the Federation and nearly kills Captain Kirk.
Yep.
This rock's looking pretty dang good, I have to say.
I don't know if I use this dirty down rush very well, but we'll see.
There we go. I should probably turn my Dremel off before sitting it down on my desk. Just got a couple more spots up in there, I think. And then we will be there on the rock for my Defender. So are you, I meant to ask you, Wilson, sorry. Got distracted dremeling there. Are you doing just straight white scars, or are you doing like a custom chapter of white scars, like successors, or? Yeah, that's good right there, I think. So we'll just do those two toes. Ah, shit. Ow, that's hot. It was not the smartest thing I've ever done in my life. First ones up are 2 lieutenants, an ancient, and Captain Brutai Khan, White Scar's second company, as it stood after the Indominus Crusade reached Tregoris. Oh, okay. Nifty. I think I've got enough pressure holding that down. Feel it super glue curing through the base here. That's some hot stuff. I need to brush up on my White Scars lore. I love them from a concept, but I don't know too much about them. Which I think is pretty much everybody, unfortunately. Also, this super thin super glue is running off the base and super gluing my hand together. Nice.
Wife.
I gotta finish working on my... I have a chapter of Space Marines I was working on a while back, and I need to actually get back to doing that. But my Knights have taken up almost all of my time. Yeah, that'll work. So we just need to work on those 2 back toes. And I think we'll be good. All right. Swap this out. There we go. Then after this, I will have to get my magnets so we can magnetize the void shield generator. Came loose a little bit, I think. Yep, it did. Yeah. Problem I'm gonna have is I'm taking a tactical squad data sheets but fitting them on outrider bikes, but they will have to have the same bases as a tactical squad base. Ooh. Yeah, those bases are what get you. I know that much because that's mostly what a lot of the modern rules are written around, is those bases. I don't see how having a smaller base could be a tactical advantage, but I haven't played in 15-ish years. Pleb, what up, brother? You just missed me super gluing my hands together and to a plastic base, so... Almost didn't realize. Yeah, I decided I needed to swap the name over to what I've been using on Instagram and Twitter, on TikTok. So, besides, I got all that AI. Thank you. Got all the AI artwork that I was using for my Instagram. I was like, I could use this and make this worthwhile. Man, love the smell of melting plastic. Don't you, Josh? Isn't that just like the most wonderful smell in the world?
I was going to say something inappropriate, and then I remember you're streaming, so...
Yeah, thank you. It's only 4 people, but I'd rather not get banned off YouTube immediately. Because the riders are on bigger bases and can only take up to 3 riders, but I can take 6 tactical squads. Oh, okay, well that makes sense.
I'm using this Uhu glue, Zach.
Oh. How goes the Uhu?
I'm using it on their mandibles.
The mandibles. It's gonna look sick when your new video drops. I can already tell. I'm excited to see it. To be fair, I thought you were a Star Wars guy when I first swung by. At one point in time, I used to be. As you probably well know. And then Disney Star Wars ruined it, and now I can't stand it. Not saying you aren't, but I wasn't expecting as much Warhammer. Yeah. Well, I've got a dream. I want to, starting next week, actually, I'll be working on it. My favorite model that Warhammer has ever had was given to me as a gift by my lovely wife and my wonderful dad, who is in stream. He can say hi when he wants. And I had a dream I want to build that model, because it's very rare. I think there's like 2,000 or 3,000 out there. And I want to take it to the largest Warhammer tournament, the Las Vegas Open. And I'm now very close to making that dream come true. So I've been working really hard and diligent on getting my army together, my models done and everything, and there's just something zen about doing it. Either that or a rave guy. I've been to one rave in my entire life and was overstimulated the entire time. Come on. There we go.
All right, Zach, I'm gonna FaceTime here real quick.
Oh,
Oh, you're using your phone to stream.
yeah, here, pull up, add your video to the Discord. I'll pull up in Discord.
Okay, give me just a second. I'm almost done.
Yeah, of course. There we are. Well, how are you doing today, pleb? It's good to see you again. I know. It's every time. I'm like, how are you doing, pleb?
How you doing, peon? Okay.
There we go. Let's get you.
So, you can't really tell,
Oh, that looks really good.
but there's boohoo glue on, like, the fingers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can kind of see it. That's
The mouth. And then there's some on the wings.
okay. That'll look really nice. You gonna paint it with like a contrast color or something?
No, honestly, I think I'm gonna leave it clear. It's kind of cool.
Okay. Doing good, man. Just enjoying my day off after a rough week. How about y'all? You know, I'm having a great time. Sorry to hear you had a rough week, but you know what? Always good to have a day off to kind of just recuperate and decompress. Played a lot of my day this morning playing some Red Dead Redemption with my dad and my good friend Edward. And then I got to go back to work tomorrow. So back up at 4:30 in the morning for me. But 3 more days of that, and then I'm off for a little over a week for my birthday, which will be nice. About you guys, how you guys doing? Josh, anybody? Somehow I have to fit a bike on a small 32 millimeter and 40 millimeter bases. Wilson, you have my sincerest condolences on that regard. Let me know how it comes out, though. I'd love to see pictures of it. Nice. Oh, yeah. Having a good time over here, pleb. Just, I find this very zen and relaxing, so I am enjoying it quite a bit. As long as I don't cover my entire hand in super glue in the process, which, unfortunately, I have.
This boohoo glue is no joke. Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's get that there. All right, this is the hardest part about doing this whole thing, in my opinion. And that is, after you've managed to separate the toe from the foot to repose it, you have to be very diligent on refilling the lost plastic. And with sprue goo, it is still very much sticky and wet, and there's an innuendo in there, I'm sure. And it does not want to hold its shape very well, so you kind of have to keep it moving and keep touching it up as much as you can. But once it's set, I think the results kind of speak for themselves when it comes to reposing models like I did here with the Knight Errant with its foot. I know it's upside down, but there we go. It holds really, really well. I mean, I can put a good amount of pressure on those with no problem. So once it's set, I think we'll be fine. Oh yeah, that's gonna look great. That's gonna look really, really nice. All right, I'm actually getting pretty close to finishing this model. I'm It's exciting and sad all at the same time. I'm actively watching the toe flip back and forth as I'm holding it here, so I'm trying to keep it at the right angle. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine, pleb, I promise. If you watch me type at any way, shape, or form, I throw in way too many typos to count, so I'm not going to judge you. Josh, on the other hand, is shaking his head disapprovingly at you while working on a model. Okay. We'll let that sit for just a... No, I can't because it's falling over. Damn it. I know what to do. Okay. Get my hair out of my face and hit my microphone stand at the same time. And then... I use Grammarly for emails. Listen, we all should. It informs you of the correction instead of just changing it. Okay, I have to act a little bit quick here.
Look at that.
That looks really good.
A little bit of drip coming off the...
It helps me use my last 3 brain cells efficiently. You still have 3 brain cells? I'm jealous. You mind sparing one of them? I said it a lot yesterday. I'm autistic. I'm not intelligent, so... Perfect. Little piece of sprue in there. And a little bit of plastic cement, and that should help hold the toe in the right position.
I don't know what else to do to this guy, so...
I haven't started your painting yet. Soon enough. You know, honestly, the painting is one of the most nerve-wracking things until you start doing it. You can be a little perfectionist, but there's nothing you can't ruin a model with paint. Doing what I'm doing, there's a chance you could ruin a model, but it's very, very low. But when it comes to paint, you can always strip paint. You can always add more layers to it. You're fine. You're not going to ruin anything. So I get it. It's just there's nothing to it but to do it, which isn't always the most helpful piece of advice out there, but I promise you, once you get started, it'll be just fine. That's way too much sprue glue on the end of my brush. There we go. You got any idea what kind of paint schemes you're planning on doing? Stay. Alright, let's try this again. This might be too fine, and I might just be making a massive mess here, but it kind of worked yesterday, so let's see if it works today. Aha! There we go. Still deciding what models to buy first. Honestly, you want like great beginner. Oh, leaning towards a Nid army. Now that would be interesting. Tyranids are cool. I don't care what anyone says. Tyranids are awesome. I love the models. They're great. I will say,
On
ooh, show that one more time. Get close to the camera. I caught a glimpse.
There's like I put a little bit of a.
Nice. That's really good. I like that.
You know what's cool about this paint too?
What? What's cool about it?
Here. It's
Ooh.
technical paint.
That's really cool. But I think I'll end up making a diorama rather than playing. You know what? You could do both. What's fun about this hobby is like there's so much stuff that you could do. If you end up like just wanting to get into the hobby side of it and just building models and still anything, you have a tiered army too, Wilson? That's cool. That's really cool. What's really cool about the hobby is you can just enjoy the hobby side of it, the building, the painting, and having the models, or you can enjoy the tabletop, or both. There's so many different gateways to get into the hobby with. I'll say, I think the models are awesome. I think the game itself is fun. It's not necessarily for everybody, but the thing that I love about it is that the game is highly customizable. You can play a standard 2,000 point army if that's something that you want to do. 2,000 point games can last a while, but it's not like the biggest thing in the world. Or if it's too long and you don't want to get into it, Kill Team, squad-based game, usually pretty quick, little 30-minute, hour-long games, get in, get out, one squad, not much to manage. Or you could do variations on the points. I know a lot of people who play like 500 point games or 1,000 point games, 1250, any number along in there that they just get in, get out, and have a good time with. And you can really do either one. Yes, Josh.
Who is the 973-8158?
8158. Did someone text you?
It was to the D&D thread.
What did they say?
They were saying we should rotate between your place and Shayla's.
Easier said than done, I guess. I'll look it up later. That's not overly important. You want it is quite the investment, and a buttload of models is awesome. But the thing about it is, if you really think on it, right, the time that you have invested into with each model. I mean, this took me, this one right here, and I took my sweet time doing it. It's about 20 or so hours in it. And then I haven't even got to the painting session, which is probably going to be at least as much as it is building it. But it's a large model. These tend to take some time anyway. And then you'll have the time to play with it. So like it's expensive to get into it initially per se, but the time that you have with the hobby as you're doing it, I think the investment's more than worth it. But yeah, they're awesome. Tyranids are great. Orcs are fantastic. My wife wants to get orcs. She doesn't care about Warhammer at all, but she wants to get orcs because she thinks they look awesome. And I think that's the way to go. You could just pick what you think looks cool. There is no wrong choice. Okay, I think the toe's pretty much set enough to get to work on the other one. Got all that super glue on my hands. It's a pain in the ass. And of course it's loose again. I love this tool, the Fantic. It is awesome, but it spins with so much torque that if you're not careful, it will just loosen the bit that you're working with, which is a pain in the ass, I must admit. I just got mine the other day. It is so good. I love this tool. Josh is planning on getting his at some point because he threatened to steal mine, and I would not let him keep it. Uh-oh. Did we overheat? No, it's out of battery. All right. I have used it an awful lot. Haven't used it yet, but might pull it out some old projects tomorrow. Did a bunch of yard work yesterday. Honestly, my friend, I get you. Honestly, eBay is your friend if you're looking to get models for cheap. You know what, Skylar? Firstly, it's good to see you again. And secondly, yes, eBay is absolutely your friend. Especially when you're trying to get bits for kit bashes. I have some models I want to kit bash for a kill team that I'm working on, and I need to get quite a bit of bits, and I'm going to be paying a pretty sizable markup for the bits themselves, but it is a wonderful place to be. Didn't plug in the... No, I didn't. I use this a lot, and I forgot to plug it in earlier. It's fine. I just got so busy yesterday, and I had to end stream early because my wife had come home and she needed a hand with some stuff. So I was like, I got to hop off. And I just did not set up my station for for success today, unfortunately. All right. I could try what I'm doing, or I could try my cheap nippers real quick. These are be just fine, I think. I'll say this: if expenses are a problem, and you want to get into something that has really cool models, I will say I'm getting Josh into it as well. But if you've ever heard of a game called Blackout, it's a tabletop war game, strategy, very tactically driven, very like based off of current and near future military tactics and everything. It's called Blackout, Blkout. Models are super cheap to get in for a force. It's like $60 to get an entire force that you need because it's a much smaller model count kind of thing. And games are supposed to be pretty quick. It's like 30-minute games at most. And I am looking forward to, at the end of this month, getting my set. There's a 2-player starter set I'm getting, and Josh and I are going to play that. I'm going to let him build and paint my UN forces, I think, in it. And I'm picking the Martian faction called Task Force Boone. And they look sick. The models look really, really good, I have to say. Don't know if anyone out there's a Blackout fan, but if you are, shout out to you. Okay, I think I need another piece of sprue to put in the top of that. Alright. Let's get this in the correct hand here. Get the correct angle. Well, that just went flying, and I have no idea. Oh, there it is. Haha! It landed on my desk. No clue what that is. Honestly, it's worth checking out if you're interested in the model side of stuff. It's a company that's called Enemy Spotted Studios that makes it. It's run by veterans, and they actually, a percentage of every sale is donated to a charity to help prevent veteran suicide. It's really, really cool, in my opinion. I love, like, sci-fi military stuff is my jam. And it looks like a lot of fun. And like I said, 30-minute games, in and out, 30 minutes tops. And the way that the game is structured, it's very much like a game of tug of war, where you're not really sure who's going to win until after the last turn is played. And that's a very common complaint with Warhammer, is like once the game starts, usually within about 30 minutes you know whether you're going to win or lose, depending on the force that you're fighting, the type of game that it is, what objectives you draw, and everything. But I have to say, I think Blackout's models look really interesting. And I know it's going to be a while before I have my army finished for my Imperial Knights, so I'm very much looking at Blackout as something I can do in the meantime. And I am very excited to get my starter set at the end of the month. So, and I will be painting them on stream, so no one has to worry there. Okay. Really? There it goes. I need you for just a little bit, my friend. I promise I will let you go back to charging here in just a little bit. God damn it. Yeah, Skylar, absolutely. Honestly, if you check it out, blackoutgame.com, that's BLKOUT. I'm not sponsored by any stretch of the imagination. I have 10 people currently watching me. There's no way I'm sponsored. But BLKOUT game.com, it's a really cool little... Why? I'm tightening you down. Why do you keep doing this to me? Oh, sick, that sold me right out of the gate. Lost a few of my squad mates. After we came home, some things are just too heavy and it's really hard. Yeah, it is a sad story with a lot of like veteran families who have to struggle with veteran suicide. And the fact that it supports a charity on top of a game made by veterans who wanted to make something that they enjoyed. I think it's just, when I'm reminded of there's a cheesecake place in Bethany called Nacho Cheesecake, and my dad told me about the story because he went in on a whim and talked to the owner, and it was a husband and wife that started the business, and they met while in active service, and the wife always wanted to open up a cheesecake place, so they got married, and when they retired, they saved up a lot of money to get the business up and running. Yo, Luke, welcome back. What a massive tonal shift I just did there. It's good to see you, bro. Yes, Mary, this is a big mini. This is one of my 3 Imperial Knights. It's not the smallest mini I own, but it is smallest knight I own. But it's one of the smaller ones. I actually have a massive one that I'll be building here next week, so I'm very excited for that. Anyway, Nacho Cheesecake. So this couple, they saved up a bunch of money. They were going to get together and they were going to open up this business, and they finally got the money, the loans that they needed, and got the building, and they were literally about to open when the lockdown hit for COVID. And it devastated the couple, and what happened is during the lockdown, I guess the wife was diagnosed with, I think it was pancreatic cancer, and she ended up like stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and she passed away, and it was pretty quick and sudden, and the husband opened up the store and ran it in her memory. And I don't go as often as I would like, but I do try every year to at least get one cheesecake for my birthday and support the business. You talk about the Knight Defender? Yeah, I was talking about the Knight Defender. So this is it's one of the smaller knights I have, the Questoris. And then I still have my armigers. I haven't shown them off yet, but I have to get the bases done for those first. But then I'll get the I did not put that toe on correctly. But then I'll get the them shown on screen. I'm really proud of their custom poses I've done. Anyway, he opened up I try to go every year and for my birthday and get a cheesecake from there, and it's just something with a story like that just really speaks to me, and I like to support something that has a story like that behind it, and that's where Blackout for me is something that really interests me, because it's a bunch of veterans who made something that they just think is cool and that appeals to their interests and their real lived experience. But they also want to turn around and help their community out quite a bit. And the idea that I can buy a cool game made by a bunch of nerds who designed something that they wanted to play, only to turn around and try to help some other aspect of their community, it's a really touching story, and I'm in. That's why I want to buy a set and play some Blackout myself towards the end of the month, which is something I'm really excited for. And I can't wait to paint them on stream. So I'll have to make a trip there one day. I go to Texas quite often, so I can make a detour. Absolutely. Nacho Cheesecake is just one of those. I'll warn you now. A lot of people go there and they're expecting like the New York style cheesecake, that kind of like lactic tangy cake that you get that everyone's used to. It's Italian cheesecake, so it's much sweeter. There's none of that tang to it, but there's some really good ones there. If they have it available, I recommend the Sin City. It's their cinnamon roll cheesecake. It's really good. Being new to a hobby like this is just so many words and things that don't make sense at first. Mary, honestly, I understand. Everyone has to start somewhere. We're here to help as much as I can. To be fair, these models are very niche in an already very niche hobby. So if you don't understand any of the terms I'm throwing out here, don't worry about it. I can walk you through the knights as much as possible. They're super, super simple. It's just not a lot of people play them, so not a lot of people know about the differences with the knights. Do you have any models that you've purchased or an army that you're looking at? This sounds like such a heartwarming story. It really is. I mean, both of them are. You know, with Blackout and Nacho Cheesecake. I mean, it pulls at the heartstrings, but like makes you sad, but happy sad, if that makes any sense. Like you want to help spread awareness of it, but like it's really touching at the same time. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I love it. It's so good. And Blackout seems to be doing something very, very similar, and I would love to support them as much as I can. Okay, I think that posing is going to do it.
I have crippling depression.
I just got a text message on my phone. My phone is my webcam at the moment, so it's not going to work out for me. Don't worry, marry me, and Wizard can explain everything if you need to. Absolutely. I mean, there's a reputation in Warhammer, and I don't know where it comes from. It come from older editions, maybe, where like either super gatekeepy, gotta make sure purity tests and all that. Honestly, I'm here to help however I can. This is I had an old man introduce me to Warhammer back in the day and was super patient answering an autistic 10-year-old's questions. I can do the exact same. Please do explain them. No, I'm planning on getting some after I have an actual PC again, and most likely be somewhat nice arsonists. Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, there's multiple gateways into the hobby. For me, I got into the hobby because I love the lore of the hobby. That's really what it boils down to. So when it came to like what I wanted to get into, what I was interested in, I always came at it from a lore avenue. But there's ways like people who just enjoy building models and they think the models look really cool, or they are just an aesthetics kind of person, or they play video games and they really liked what they were playing in the video games. There's so many ways in. I think the best way is to find whatever drew you to the hobby to begin with and like lean into that as much as possible. So for me, my first exposure to 40K as a whole was really just let me grab my drink real quick. Was really playing the first Warhammer Space Marine video game, but there was a pastor friend of mine who collected Space Marines, so I was exposed to the models in general. So literally, like my sophomore year, I think it was, I blew off my courses. I was supposed to be working in, I think it was graphic design in my vocational school I was in. And anyway, we'd go there in the morning and I would just blow off all the workload, go to the old wiki page and just start scrolling through all the different factions that were there. And then I just read as much as my little nerdy heart would accept, and kind of just picked one faction and I went full bore into that faction for years. Research different armies and models before you buy, and always follow the rule of cool to you. 100%. Wilson's absolutely right. If you, do research, find what speaks to you, and do what looks cool to you, right? If you want to play the game, if you want to play the tabletop, it's a little bit different. He's right. You're going to want to research and what you can build for your army to play it. But if you're just interested in collecting the models or just want to be immersed in the lore, always do Rule of Cool. I got in because I listened to lore videos during a bad time in my life, and I saw some crazy kit bash armies on YouTube, and I went, fuck yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's great. If you're a lore whore like myself, you're gonna love it. Warhammer's got so much rich lore to it that there really isn't a wrong way to do something. For me, when I first got into the hobby, I was actually first interested in Joy Toy, and then I learned about Space Marines and Knights and thought they were just really cool, and then I got into the lore. Yeah, yes. It's really what it boils down to. Knights are actually, they're, in terms of my hobby journey within 40K, are actually relatively new fascination for me. My first love will and always will be are Space Wolves. I love the Space Wolves. They are the faction that got me into the lore. They are I went full bore into the Space Wolves, and I've never looked back. First contact with 40K, one of the guys came into Discord VC yelling that the tech priest rituals work because he turned his PC on again, then followed a flood with memes. Yeah, listen, I love me some Mechanicus memes. They are hilarious. Well, it's good. It's good. See, the first exposures are always what's important. The first exposure I ever had to Warhammer was an old guy. So my dad took me to a game store. I've told the story many times, but my dad took me to a game store, and I forget what we were there for. Like, we were looking for something, I think a specific board game for family game night at his parents' house, so my grandparents. And I do agree with you, Space Wolves are really cool, but for me, I like my boys in yellow. Listen, Imperial Fists are just dope. We have to be real here. I just want to learn everything, which I tamp down because I don't want to just hyperfixate and then drop it. You know, that's okay. You know what? Honestly, if you want to get into the lore and you want to learn everything, if you're into audiobooks, for me, the authors, depending on the book, it's a little hit or miss, but the Horus Heresy series and any of the 40K books will do a really good job of kind of like semi-easing you into it. There's some base level of knowledge that you need to know going into it, like what is a Primarch, who is the Emperor, that kind of thing. But mostly, it does a really good job of kind of like easing you into what you need to know overall. And honestly, you couldn't go wrong with listening to an audiobook, in my humble opinion.
Now this is Zach's dad. Be careful. That's the gateway drug. That's what he did to me. And I'm like 15 books into it now. You won't be able to escape. Just know that going in.
He's not wrong. Well, welcome to the stream, Papa. I agree with Wizard on that. They really have 40K audiobooks, and books are some of the best ways to get introduced to the lore. Yes, 100%. If you just want to learn and get immersed into the universe and you're not really sure if you want to commit to buying an army, you can't go wrong with audiobooks. You won't regret buying them. There's a few out there I would avoid personally, but it's up to personal taste. But you'll not regret having the audiobooks. The audiobooks are just cool. And it's not like you're going to get buyer's remorse because you're hyper fixated on getting an army and then you get into it. The Emperor, from what I've learned in the last 2 weeks, that guy was a pretty shit dad. Yes, 100%. But the problem is the way. Oh, go ahead, Dad.
I was sorry. I was just saying, can I say something else?
Yeah.
So what happened to me when I went to look at that book series is what you're going to find is there are, I don't remember how many, there are like 80 or 90 or so books in this overall Horus Heresy series. But there are some folks, if you go do a little searching, it won't take you long. There are some folks that have kind of curated that, and they're like, hey, here are the books that are like really essential and central to the canon, and here are some books that maybe are just cool reads, and then maybe here's some that are really just kind of boring and aren't important. So just know that if you go looking for the books, like, don't get intimidated by the number, because you don't need to read all of them. Okay,
Luke, I know you didn't realize what you just said there in the chat, but let me just go ahead and say, I'm going to read this out loud. I really do wish that there were more Knight books relating to how the Imperial Knights did things, but it's okay. I hope Games Workshop puts them out. Listen, you don't know the absolute shit show you just walked into, because I am so pissed. We were supposed to get a trilogy of books. We had King's Blade, King's Wrath, and there was supposed to be free. Was it King's Wrath or King's? I can't remember now. But it's one of those two: King's Blade, then King's Wrath, or it's King's Wrath and then King's Blade. And then we were supposed to get Free Blade, the last book of this trilogy. They have yet to write the last book. It has been over 10 years, and at this point, they just didn't pull the George R.R. Martin, and they're never going to. And I'm a little pissed off because they were really good, and they do explore the Knights quite a bit, and there's absolutely zero hype from GW for Imperial Knights. Like, of all of the things that they just decided they're going to randomly drop before Adepticon, they dropped their new Knights coming out, which means all the big reveals We were, yes, we were. We were supposed to get a third book, and we never got it. We never got it. And Knights are never going to get a big reveal ever again after the initial launch of the army because they don't sell. They just don't sell. Yes, that's the problem. We never got our third book, and it sucks because I really wanted a third book. I wanted to know what happened. The story's not over, but we'll never know what happens. Yeah, Mary, honestly, there are a lot of books in the Horus Heresy series. You can absolutely get in, and my dad's right. There are lists out there that tell you what's important as a book, what's not important as a book, or what's not relevant to the overarching story that's really just more of an exploration. You have all of the 40K timeline books, so that's stuff in the contemporary timeline if you want to know what's currently going on in the universe. I recommend starting with novels like the Dark Imperium series or Plague War series. Both of them are really good. And they kind of deal with what's going on now, more or less. But if you want to just understand the lore, yeah, you start there. It's the easiest place. You won't have to worry about spending any money on models. And you can just kind of immerse yourself in what you like and what you don't like. I will warn you now, you will fall in love with some characters. There are some characters that my dad and I still talk about and reference quite often. My big problem is I can't concentrate on audiobooks for facts. I get you. If you want to actually read the books, you could do that as well. I just happen to, I work in a kitchen, so I have a lot of time where I'm doing menial tasks, and I can listen to an audiobook to make the menial task better. The mini masses, I have a 1.5 hour commute, and Horus Heresy audiobooks for my friend, even the ad ones. Yes, I needed a physical chunk of paper in my hands. Mary, that's perfectly fine. You can get the books for relatively cheap now because there's some older editions of those books, or you can get the really nice ones if you're really into it. They sell leather bounds now.
I think I've paid maybe somewhere between $8 and $12 for each one. Like I said, I went out and found the curated list, so I'm on book 15 or 16 or something, but it's really like the 7th or 8th book that I've read.
What type of food do I make in a kitchen? Let me tell you. I can cook pretty much anything you need me to. I went to culinary school. I worked in a catering company where we kind of just did a little bit of everything. I worked at a pizza shop that made pizza from scratch for a while. I worked at another catering job. We did movie shoots and everything. It was a lot of fun. Right now, I actually work for Oklahoma County. I work in their juvenile bureau. I am a cook in the kitchen for juvenile detention. And we kind of make a little bit of everything. I won't say it's my favorite food I've ever cooked in my life, but for school cafeteria food, it's the best school cafeteria food I've ever seen. I will need to see how cheap I can find them over here in Germany. Yeah, absolutely. Amazon's your friend. You can probably find them. If there's a Games Workshop store near you, they probably sell the books in the store, and they probably have some of those older copies or editions. Absolutely, 100%. I recommend the first 3 books in the series: Horus Rising, Galaxy in Flames. I forget what the third one's called. Shoot. Can't remember now. They're really good, though. They're really, really good. I think you will enjoy them, and that's just a trilogy of books. And then the story is pretty self-contained in that trilogy of books. It leaves it open for the future, obviously, because there's a lot more to the Horus Heresy than just the first 3 books. But it's really good, and the main character you'll really, really like. Garviel Loken is one of the coolest people in fiction, in my humble opinion. I forgot to ask, do you actually play Space Marines too? I like the video game. I was working on a Space Marine army at one point in time for my own custom chapter. The only games I've ever played of 40K, I played Space Marines. My very first model I ever built and painted was an Ultramarine. which I think a lot of people's first models would have been Ultramarines, but so I quite like Space Marines. I think Space Marines are awesome, and I want to get a Space Wolves army, and I swear to God, I will be like happy pissed, but I will be pissed if they release Leman Russ soon. I love Lion, Son of the Forest. I have not read Lion, Son of the Forest. I have heard it is one of the best books GW has ever released. I've heard nothing but wonderful things about Lion, Son of the Forest. So, I've heard many, very, very many good things about it, for sure. Really nice. My first miniature was an Imperial Fist, but it sounds really interesting. Yeah, I love Space Marines. Space Marines are cool, and I people give Space Marines a lot of flack for being like the noob army or like the starting army. I'm gonna be real with you. Whoever wants to give Space Marines flack for being the quote unquote starting army or piss on them for being the most popular faction in the game, they can get bent. Space Marines are just cool, and they're really, really good and easy for beginners. You know, especially painting. It's one of the 2 reasons why I swapped from Custodes to Dark Angels. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. You know what's funny about that? He's not in the Discord call at the moment, but he was here a little bit ago. My buddy Josh, Oh, speaking of, Josh is back. He started with Custodes as his initial starting army into it. He has gone to Death Guard a little bit, so he has his Chaos faction. But his loyalist Space Marines, Dark Angels. He loves himself some Dark Angels.
They're the best.
They are certainly one of the Space Marines ever. Yeah, no one really cares about the fact that Space Marines means the most popular. There's so many different factors to choose from. You basically have to like 10 different armies in one. Exactly. And so many people just give like I shit on Ultramarines for the memes, but I have to admit, as much as I hate how GW loves to glaze themselves some Ultramarines, he heard his name and then he appeared. That's exactly right. As much as I like to crap all over Ultramarines. I said shit. Never mind. I've already cussed. As much as I like to shit all over Ultramarines for being the ones that the Death Guard were Nurgle. Yes, they were Nurgle Miri. That is correct, and they're really cool. I have to admit, as a Chaos faction, they're dope. I have to say they have some really good characters. One of my favorite Space Marines that's not a Space Marine chapter master in the setting right now is newly promoted Captain Titus of the Ultramarine 2nd Company, and my boy Titus finally gets Josh Hendry. Finally gets his recognition as one of the baddest Space Marines out there. Thank you. Space Marines are also highly customizable. They are super customizable. I am working on a
Will to Live.
I am working on a Will to Live. Thank you. Also, I have a question, Wizard. If you know this, what do the crowns with the numbers on mean? I have a question. What do you know about this? What do the crowns with the numbers on them mean? Crowns with numbers on them. Are we talking... What?
I think he's in the chat.
Yeah. So I guess it's people who've been in the stream for a while. It's like top fans. So it's like the top 3 fans. So I guess it's dependent on the number of messages that have been delivered as well as how long you've been in the stream, I think. Space Marines are the best army to customize, in my opinion. The amount of kit bashing you can do is amazing. Yes, 100%. I was working on... I don't know if anyone in the chat's familiar with a Space Marine chapter by the name of Sons of the Phoenix. I guess for Miri's sake, I'll explain. So you have the Primarchs, which are basically demigods of the setting. Okay, thank you, Waffles. Thank you, pleb. Waffles. So you have the Primarchs, which are basically demigods. They're made by the Emperor of Mankind, who united humanity after it was nearly wiped out and made extinct. After it had... So, God, there's a lot. I'm just going to go with that. After it was nearly wiped out and extinct. Yes, I do, and they're my third favorite chapter. Luke, we're going to have conversation after this, because I love the Sons of the Phoenix for very strange reasons. But Lost Kids of Fulgrim, yes. So the Primarchs were made to help unify the galaxy and help the Emperor establish his empire, the Imperium of Man, right? From these Primarchs, which are basically, again, demigods, he created Gene Seed, which is essentially a little tiny fragment of their divine power, and the Gene Seed is used to make Space Marines, and the Space Marines are the Legions. My second and first are the Space Sharks, and obviously Imperial Fists. Space Sharks are Carcharodon's slap. I love the Carcharodons. There's actually been a lot. I'm getting sidetracked. Let me finish my thought here. So the Gene Seed is used to make new Space Marines, and each Gene Seed is based off of the Primarch that it came from. So a little bit of that Primarch's abilities and power goes into each Space Marine, and there's a limited amount of Gene Seed. They can make more, but we're getting lost in the sauce there. There's foundings. So foundings are basically like... They had to break up the Space Marine legions after the Emperor was entombed on the Golden Throne and all that such. So they had to break up the legions, and they become foundings. And the foundings are chapters of Space Marines based off of those older legions. The reason this is important is because why I like the Sons of the Phoenix is their founding, it is called the Ultima Founding, and that's where the Primaris Marines first come from. But what I love about it is technically they're made using traitor Gene Seed. Horus Heresy happens, Civil War, 9 of the Primarchs fight against the Emperor, 9 of them fight for the Emperor. The 9 traitors are fought for Horus and tried to take down the Emperor, and the 9 loyalists fought to preserve the Emperor. Ergo, traitor Gene Seed comes from the Primarchs who betrayed the Emperor and tried to take him out, right? So the Sons of the Phoenix are most...
How do you know that, Zach?
What?
But how do you know that?
Right. Well, because I'm autistic, Josh. A perfect explanation by the wizard. Thank you. But the idea comes down to essentially the Sons of the Phoenix are most likely descendants of one of the traitor Primarchs, Fulgrim, and the sons of the Emperor's children. Excuse me. And what I love about that is it kind of hints that a character by the name of Belisarius Cawl, who created the primary Space Marines, that was almost really bad. He may have used Traitor Gene Seed to make some of the Primaris Marines. So I had challenged my friends and I, when we were coming up with our own homebrew Space Marine chapters, I was going to make another quote-unquote loyalist Space Marine chapter that's made from Traitor Gene Seed stock. So one of the things I was working on was, I was going to have a Raven Guard successor, but in reality, they're Alpha Legion Gene Seed. And then Josh was going to make his, who are brief, perfect, concise, and explains everything. Thank you. Josh was going to make his, but his were going to be Dark Angel successors, but in reality, they were Death Guard. So they were like the Sons of Mortarion and whatnot. Which is, I think it's a rather interesting concept. My dad even made one, but he didn't do the Traitor Gene Seed thing. He just made his absolute pure chaos Space Marines, which is awesome. So, what on earth are you listening to?
I don't know. Just somebody said it to me.
Anyway, I hope, Miri, that helped keep you grounded in the conversation so you weren't lost. So, I was working on a Loyalist Alpha Legion chapter that doesn't know that they're Alpha Legion, which I thought was a cool idea at the time. And then I found out they may have already done that, and I was upset. So now I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to try to do Thousand Sons Successors and have a all librarian chapter. And I haven't really done anything with that. Pleb, same. Thanks. What are you... Oh, Drummelling. This is a void shield generator. So I am trying to... Okay, so let me walk you through the process here. So part of what I'm trying to figure out is how I want to try to paint the model. So I will be gluing, once the toes have set enough, I'm going to be gluing the torso to the legs, and I'll have that, and I'll glue the base. I'll have the base ready to glue to it for the feet and everything like that. But I want to figure out how am I going to paint this model. And I was looking at it, and I was like, well, if I have the void shield generator on top, there's going to be quite a bit here on the top I won't be able to get to with a brush or even an airbrush to make it look good. So my thinking was, if I could Dremel out a hole in the bottom of the void shield generator with a magnet, I've got a magnet glued in here that's drying, so I could just magnetize the void shield generator by sticking it on top. That way I can paint this model piece separately from the torso and still have it work. That's the idea here. I had that same forethought with my Preceptor, because my Preceptor also is going to have a top weapon, and that is this missile launcher. So I have the missile launcher here, but I didn't want to Librarian, Space Marines, like really aggressive record keepers. Oh, I haven't explained librarians. Okay, so there is space magic that is, thank you, Luke, that is in 40k, and those are called Psychers, right? Psychers can draw power from a realm called the Warp, or the Immaterium, okay? How do I explain the Warp? Essentially, it's like another layer of reality that's overlaid on top of our reality, right? It's not that it's necessarily separate, but it's linked to our world, but it's almost like in an immaterial kind of way. So strong emotions ripple in the Warp. So it literally is like a vast ocean where your emotional state can actually affect what goes on in the Warp. It's like a river or a lake. What's important about the Warp is in the Warp there are entities known as demons, and there's even the 4 Chaos Gods who are born from those raw emotions and the currents that exist within the Warp itself. So people who can tap into those powers are easily susceptible to demonic possession or anything like that. The catch here is that you have to be trained how to use your powers, otherwise you could be demonically possessed. And Space Marines who have psychic abilities are referred to as librarians because they keep records and they keep lore and secrets and tomes and all that such. I think that's literally the only reason they're called librarians. But they have those Yeah, I got it a little bit. Oh, well, that sucks. They have those same psychic abilities. They're just trained to a much more rigorous standard. But they are very susceptible to, like, physical mutation because of their abilities. Or, again, if they get too arrogant, demonic possession, which is, again, kind of a not good thing. So there's a legion that exists that joined Horus during the Horus heresy called the Thousand Sons. And the Thousand Sons were pretty much all psychers and librarians. So they had dealt with a lot of like physical mutation and warp shenanigans and things like that. Librarians are very smart psychos who use their abilities in the Warp to help Space Marine chapters, but they're not as trusted due to Warp influence and Chaos Marines. Yes. Psychic aggressive record keepers. Yes. I think the best way to describe them is Space Wizards. That's what Yep, that's also very accurate. Pleb, when he told me about the magnet idea last time, I started eyeing all my old models and some of the horrible Frankenstein ideas. Exactly, which is the reason why most chapters don't trust them as much, with the exception of the Great Knights. So they have access to a parallel world, hell type place, and because of that, because of the shit that can happen with the normal Space Marines, don't trust them as much. By the way, next you should explain to Miri about the Grey Knights. The Grey Knights are cool. I will have to explain them. Yes, Miri, so you're kind of right. Well, here's the thing. Librarians, people who deal with the warp tend to make people fairly uncomfortable. And it's not just because of the fact that they use powers that makes them feel weird. It's, well, okay, how do I explain this? So you have a soul in the world of 40K, right? And that soul has a presence within the warp, right? So the more powerful of a psyker you are, the brighter your soul appears to be to entities within the warp. This means that entities within the warp tend to interact with your soul to a degree. There's a great explanation of how this works. Unfortunately, it is one of the most absolutely borked explanations from Adeptus Ridiculus, which I'm going to have to do here. If you imagine there is a barrier that exists, right? Like there's an ocean, and then there's a barrier over the top of that ocean, and then above that barrier is where we reside, right? That's where we live. There are two ways that you can interact with the warp, right? Either you create a hole in the barrier, and that's how psychers can get their powers. If you have a wider hole in the barrier, you can get more energy out, but things from the other side can come through. If you... And this is the only way to describe this, so you're going to hear laughter and snickering on the other end, I'm sure. Or you can increase the power of your ability to suck energy through that hole in the barrier. So a smaller hole, but you have much more flow coming through. You can get as much power as if you widened that barrier. Okay, but without the threat of something coming through. But there's still influence from that other side seeping through that hole, no matter what, right? So librarians tend to act very strangely and are very off-putting. So a lot of Space Marines and a lot of people in general tend to not trust them because there's some amount of influence that comes from the warp. There's just no way around that, right? So some psychers, for example, they develop weird physical characteristics. Alert, alert, there's a heretic among the chat. I may have joined at a weird time. Hi, Final. Oh, man. Yeah, that was a weird time to join the stream. I'm sorry. Can you warp my ligma? Thank you, Josh. So that's the weirdest time to join a conversation. I'm not gonna lie, Final. I'm sorry that you had to hear that. So there's some influence that comes from the warp, no matter what, and that is gonna alter how you act and how you behave around other people. The other thing is psychers tend to get some sort of weird mutation. So extreme examples are some psychers have like completely transparent skin or a third eye or a tentacle popping up somewhere or another arm. Like there's some weird physical mutation that's very off-putting to see, right? Yeah, the chat hacked pretty heretical right now. You're not wrong. It's the way I say it. There's no other way to go about it. So the issue is like librarians aren't trusted because of the potential of being possessed by demons, but also because they tend to act very, very strangely and outside the norm for other people. So that's why they're not trusted. There's some amount of influence from the warp. They could be possessed, and they act in a very off-putting kind of way. Sighs heavily. Jesus, I might need a cigarette after this conversation. So, alright. That's a good void shield generator done. That is my torso magnetized. That is more super glue coming off of my hands. Yeah, you missed it, Final. I may have glued my hand to my base and then my other hand to that hand. So, super thin super glue may not have been my smartest idea for this. But I got the rock finally done, which is nice. I mean, there's a lot of super glue just coming off my hands. All right. So, that's pretty much done. Toes are pretty much finished for the Knight Defender. I'm going to hold it there. I think that looks pretty good. It looks fairly natural. What army do I use? Oh, Final. Oh, man. I've seen a Final paint a lot of stuff, but between you and me, I'm pretty sure he's an Ultramarines guy. And that's okay. They have Malum Kaido and Dimitri and Titus. That's why I use gloves when dealing with super glue. You know, Skylar, listen, suck my army. You're not wrong. Well, so I glued it underneath the cork, and I just didn't expect it to run off the side of the base there, which is what got all over my fingers, which is a shame, but it's be fine. But yeah, I think the toes came out pretty good on this foot here. I might... Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. Just let that finish drying there. In the oop, don't fall over. There we go. In the meantime, though, what do I want? Do I want them turning or facing? No, I don't know. This is going to be the hard part where I make it look like it's not stupid. What knight am I doing? Oh, this is my Knight Defender. So I built a Knight Defender here to use with my Void Shield generator. Which I'm gonna let the sprue goo dry on these for now. And then up next, I'm going to stay. And up next, I'm going to make a base for my Preceptor here. I did a lot of work to convert the toes to give it a strange stance. Well, I say strange. Believe it or not, this is actually based off of an existing model that exists within the range for Warhammer on 40k. This is a Leagues of Votann model. The Call. I have a Dragma Knight. You know what, Josh? What are you doing? You could just speak in the Discord. It's fine. I need to tally up my points again, but I think Ultramarines are still top for my collection. What are you at point-wise? Like, you've got to be, what, 4,000? Something like that? It's crazy. By the way, Final, thank you again for popping in. It's good to see you, man. Sorry about yesterday and ending it so quickly. My wife got home and needed my help with some stuff, and I started later than I wanted to. So today I'm going for the full one. You've got a Knight Abomin and a Knight... I'm sorry. Do I see Chaos Knights in my chat right now? That's really cool, though. Do you have a particular god you serve with your knights? Undivided? Do they serve do you have like a Nurgle theme or anything like that? Okay. Thank you, Luke. Funnily enough, Miri, if you want to get involved with learning Knight lore, I have a series of YouTube shorts. I need to go back and finish my script for my full-length video. It is coming. I am working on it. Where's our Maggie? Believe it or not, Final, he was working on it in the Discord on camera. I can confirm his paint scheme just absolutely wonderful. You're gonna love it. The video will be coming, I promise. And it looks really good. I have to admit, it looks really, really good. Okay. Okay. Knight Abominant is with Nurgle. I haven't decided on which the Knight Tyrant is. Ooh. Luke, you make sure when you do it, you have to say the speech. By the might of our God Emperor, and for the glory of the Golden Throne, I hereby sign a death warrant to condemn an entire world. Heretical Imperial Knight detected gas planning for airstrikes at his location. I'm not gonna lie, that's very funny. It's a little smoother than I wanted, but it'll work. Alright. Might have to nuke the chaos. Listen, Luke. I promise you. Like, I appreciate it, but let me tell you. After next week, I can handle any Chaos Knight, because starting Monday of next week, I will be on stream prepping and building my Acastus Knight Porphyrion. So, I got twin-linked Magna Las Cannons, strength 18. Like, I got this. Let's do it. Oh, by the way, 1d6 plus 6 wounds on a hit. So, that'll work. Nobody who has no idea what's going on with the tabletop will understand that reference, but with strength 18, it's pretty much game over. There we go. All right. So what angle do I need this to be at to make this work? Just imagine this image getting your entire knight exterminized, and then the captain just says skill issue. That would be funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, this is the wrong foot. What? You just gonna let me look at my knight errant like that? I get this for the preceptor. Freaking idiot. Okay, I could turn this around. Final, you're getting called out in chat, bro. Okay. So, I'm gonna have to. I could probably turn this down just a little bit here. So, Dad, how goes Red Dead?
It's going. Just kind of chilling and listening to you.
This is the most active chat I've ever had doing a live stream. This is awesome. Okay. New phone, who dis? I sent it to you on Instagram. Alright, let's get this torn up here. Thank you, Final. I feel validated now. All right. So I have recently finished a Great Unclean One for my Death Guard army. Funnily enough, I'm getting a 3D printed Great Unclean One to mess up for the base of my Knight army. Charge my freaking okay, fine. I'll charge my Fantic. Why are you coming at me, bro? Also, you're in the Discord. You can just talk. I knew what you meant. There's only one way, one way to say Fantic, so I knew what you meant, bro. By the way, remember I told you about my Warhammer match I had yesterday? You'll never believe it. Okay, please tell me, Luke. Tell me what happened. Tell me you won. And also, I don't know what your opponent was playing, but I hope you brought glory to the God Emperor. I like spamming your chat. You know what, Josh? That's fair. Did here. I've got all of these pieces of corkboard, and here I am trying to figure out exactly how to make this rock look good. It's for a base. I don't need to work on it that hard. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I was pretty cringe, but when you called me based, I felt that on an emotional level. Oh, that would look good. I mainly just ask questions. You know, Mary, I'm here for it. If you have any more questions or you want to know something else, please let me know. I'm here. Don't call me the autistic wizard. I call myself the autistic wizard for nothing. Could be interesting to play a game against your knights, so if you have potential lore for having a great uncle. I do, actually. Sorry, I'm going to yell in the microphone. So yeah, I'm actually, one of the things I love to do in pretty much every time I make a faction is do homebrew. I don't ever build an existing faction, just because I like to have a little piece of me into like the universe that I'm getting involved with. And so my homebrew house is called the Wild Court, and they come from a planet called Honor. And on Honor, I have an unstable warp rift that's sealed for now, but it's not or closed, but not completely sealed. And it was caused during the Horus Heresy, when an actual existing canon house that has very little lore called House Blisterborn tried to invade and take it out. So this warp rift left a physical scar on the planet and left a giant canyon as a large chunk of the crust was taken into the domain of Nurgle, because Blisterborn worships Nurgle. That's the only lore we really have for them. So occasionally the warp rift will reopen when another Nurgle-aligned house or Blisterborn attempts to launch what I call a blighted crusade on the planet to reclaim it or claim it back from my house. And it's happened about 6 or 7 times since the Horus Heresy. So on the planet there's 3 night houses that have kind of come together, and they watch the scar for any demonic incursion, which has happened about 2 or 3 times in full in that entire history. So the Great Unclean One that's going to be blasted apart by my Porphyrion on part of the base for it is purely part of the scar. So it's like a fresh invasion just happening, and the houses have taken like severe casualties, and the planet has been almost lost a couple of times. So the Porphyrion is a named Porphyrion and has been around since the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy era on my planet, and it's like an icon. So in the history from several hundred years ago, in the lore I created, it killed a Great Unclean One after a nasty fight where one of the houses was almost completely destroyed. It got the killing blow. So you have a homebrew Space Marine army called the Penumbra Reapers. That's pretty cool. By the way, so what happened was I ended the game on turn 2 because the guy was playing against managed to swarm me on turn 1 with his tearing gene stealers. Okay. He then swarmed me with his Norns in Screamer Killer and used his Biovore to kill my entire army in turn 2. Oh my gosh. All I had left was 1 Outrider and Heavy Intercessor, and I wasn't even able to scratch the Norns because he had 2 on the table. Holy moly. What is your favorite friend, and why is it me and not Edward? Well, you have lore for your faction, Josh. And if Edward was on the microphone to hear that, that would be hilarious.
It's hilarious anyway.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you. Anyway, so I hope that answers your question about the Great Unclean One. I thought it was a really cool concept, and I have like this really cool idea for object source lighting where the Magnalast cannon shooting plastic rod lasers directly into the Unclean One, blowing it apart and everything. I thought I was your favorite member in chat. Listen, Luke, my beloved, I just happen to know Josh in real life. Okay. Okay, let's see here. I gotta measure this. It's close. It's not quite there yet, but it's close. Is the foot not level? It's not level. Okay, so I'll have to... Fascinating. Skylar, oof. Damn it, he has a point there. Exactly. Also, I've just known him for 20 years. So, listen, Luke, you will always have a special place in my heart. Everyone in this chat has a special place in my heart, but you will always have a special place in my heart. Sounds like you need to take a road trip out to them. You know what, Final? You want to grab him on the way over? I'll make you steak. I make a pretty good steak. My dad makes a better steak, but I make a pretty good steak. Yeah, that'll work. He still owes me dinner for my wedding. Yes, I do. I do owe you dinner for your wedding. You guys come over, bro. You got a point. You got a point there for... Yeah. I think I was like one of your first viewers to be... Honestly, like, Luke, you are one of the first, for sure. You and Pleb and Final are one of the... And Wilson, who's... I don't know if Wilson's still here or not. G-Money, steak is the best. Is that my beautiful wife in chat right now? I'm trying to develop some lore for the Penumbra Reapers about my homebrewed Tyranid Hive fleet invading their home of Umbrawin. Oh, okay. That'd be really cool.
Did I hear you say that my daughter-in-law is in this?
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's my wife, yeah.
My girl.
Sucking up to my dad even though she doesn't even know he was in this. Or she might know you're in the stream. I don't know.
Well, now she does.
All right, come on. You boys need to go outside. I need you to not be underneath my feet at all times. Let's go. Come on. All right, sorry about that. It is my wife, and Skylar says hi, wife. I like the the name of the Penumbra Reapers is a really cool. Hi, she says hi, G Money. Everyone's saying hi to my wife in the chat now.
As they should. She's adorable and she keeps you in line, which is no small task.
It is no small task. She did not know you were in the stream. My beautiful bride. Okay, now... My inherited hive fleet is called Erebus, named for the primordial Greek god of darkness. Good, because here I was thinking it was named after Erebus, the douche canoe of 40k. I'm glad. Hi, husband's friends. Josh, you are beautiful. You are beautiful. I just legally have to call my wife beautiful because she's amazing. The douche of 40k. There it is. Miri, I just want... Yeah, Miri, I'll just warn you now, if you start reading those books, Erebus, just get ready. Even in the first 3 books with Horus Rising or Galaxy in Flames, Erebus sucks. Everyone hates Erebus. That's all you need to know for now. I won't spoil why, but Erebus sucks.
Just know that the second you're introduced to him, whether you're reading it or listening to it, he's got used car salesman and smarmy lawyer written all over him.
Yours is far cooler. I have to agree. Tell me about Hive Fleet Erebus. I'm very curious about what makes Hive Fleet Erebus so unique. There's an Erebus in 40k? Yes. There is an Erebus in 40k. Quite literally, Erebus in 40k, the biggest douche. All my homies hate Erebus. Everybody, can I just get I hate Erebus in the chat, please? Everything is Erebus's fault. That is awesome. Yeah, there is an Erebus, and hey, Wizard, who was your first viewer? Genuinely? Okay, stream-wise, I'm pretty sure I can actually pull up the name here in a little bit, but in YouTube channel-wise, there's a guy by the name of Caffeinated Borb who showed up on every single one of my videos as the first subscriber to my channel, and I love that man. You're gonna hear me double talking here in just a little bit, but I can tell you who it was. My very first Build Hangout stream. Lord Nerd 8578. But Luke, you will always have a special place in my heart. I genuinely get excited when you join the streams. Boo.
This is what it's like when your children want to know which one's the favorite.
And we know it's me, Dad. That's actually true. I mean, it was Erebus who really started the Horus Heresy. Erebus sucks. Bro, I gotta poo. Josh, go to the bathroom. Yeah, Erebus is awful. We all hate Erebus. So when you see Erebus, just be ready. That sure is a name. Yes. Erebus, yeah, Erebus is awful. I hate him. But funnily enough, and it makes me chuckle because of the audiobook, they pronounced it. I thought it was Sir Janus was a character that he impersonated, but in the audiobook, according to them, it's Sir Janus, and I am a 13-year-old boy at heart. So I have chuckled repeatedly at the fact that he impersonated somebody by the name of Sir Janus.
The only way that would be better is if it was Hugh.
Yeah. Hugh Janus. Someone has to take an Erebus. I didn't even see that one. That's so good. Someone has to take it instead of having to go to take a dump. It's just I have to go take an Erebus. I'll be right back. Oh, it's good. Oh, Skylar, well played. That's so good. Why is that so funny? Same every time someone says Uranus. Yes, Uranus is, yeah. Some might say it's the best planet. My wife would not agree with me on that one. She'd roll her eyes and go, okay. And I love her for it. Okay. So we'll do that there. Skylar Productions is the one that has some of the best jokes in the chat. I agree. Skylar has one on the internet. Someone has to take an Erebus, and I will never not be using that from now on. So, well played, Skylar. Well played. It's so good. Oh no! What did I just drop? Oh, I didn't drop anything. Okay, good. Good to know. Good to know. You know what? I need to stop walking away and coming back at these moments. Yes, final. Because you missed one of the best jokes in the chat, period. And if you don't support Skylar Productions, I'm going to come to your house and steal all of your left socks. Wizard, you should do a poll over who has the best subscribers, Skylar or me, or Final Gaming Firefighters. Oh, I dropped my knight. I leaned back because I was laughing too hard. All right, let's see here. All right, you've got your wish, Luke. It's coming. Nah, I'm the middle child and I'm fine with it. Well, at this point, it's too late. It's happening, and you have the best joke. So clearly, you're climbing the pole here. All right, there we go. Poll has started. You are there. Wizard, you should do... Oh, yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right. Back to making my oversized rock for my knight. Oh, no. So far, it is a... Final has no votes? Aw. That's so sad. I'm also rooting for Skylar. To be fair, Skylar won with I have to take an Erebus. So... Or someone has to take an Erebus. Like, I don't see how we come back from this. All right, we're gonna need to come up with a very sharp point, and I don't know how to best do that. Making gigantic cork rocks should not be as hard as it is, but I think it's because I'm being a perfectionist, and that's my problem. We'll slot this one in here. Poor Final. Nah, Final is an OG. I love that man. Someone has to take it. Erebus is the funniest joke in the chat. Yes, I agree. 100%. Oh, shit. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but I got smoke, boys. Oh, come on. Don't let Han eat it this time. Sweetheart, I agree with you. I will not let Han eat this rock this time. I mean, the other one I glued down on my base. Wizard's wife, please vote for me. All right, we'll let it go, Fred. Please don't burn the house down. I promise I won't burn the house down. I promise. This time. Alright, this shouldn't be as hard as it is, and I'm making this way more difficult on myself. So, what we're going to do... Has Wizard burned the house down before? Not that you know of. Not that you know of. What do you mean this time? So, I made a rock before for my preceptor, which is what I'm working on right now. And unfortunately, the dog got a hold of it and turned it into a chew toy. By the way, is your Discord private and just for friends? I need to make a Discord. The Discord I have is not mine. It's actually my dad's Discord, and it is for just for friends. But I'll tell you what, I will actually today, and I'll post it in community on the channel. I will make a Discord because I need to. I should have done that a long time ago. It's just I'm a little bit. He hasn't yet. Keyword yet. You know what, honey? I'd be offended. Okay. Pussy's wife, please respond. Is Pussy burned the house down before? I have not ever burned a house down. I can't say I've never started a fire in the kitchen, but an actual fire I've started hasn't happened since I was... Oh, damn. It's been well over 10 years. That's funny.
I almost started a fire on the deck the other night.
You did, didn't you? You were actually there when I started a fire in the house, Dad. You remember that?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. I was making meatballs. I was working on a new recipe of meatballs, and I underestimated the amount of grease that the meatballs would make.
You know, some might say if you haven't ever unintentionally started a fire, you just really haven't tried hard enough.
I'm calling it. That was cap. I'm calling. Listen, I'm sincere when I say this. I have started one fire. It was 10 plus years ago. Unfortunately, Luke, this is why you didn't win. This is why Joshy Poo beat you. I'm sorry to say. But yeah, I did start a fire in the oven years ago. Grease dripped down onto the burner in the oven at the time. And I put it out. My dad here was taking a nap in the living room on the couch at the time. And he woke up, smelled smoke, and he said, "Is that smoke?" And I said, "Yeah, I started a fire, but I put it out." He goes, "Oh, okay, good. Well done on not panicking." By the way, come on, tear, damn it. There we go. That's a pretty solid point there. Final didn't get a single vote. Final deserves a vote, but unfortunately, unlike... I'm not going to make that joke. That would be political. We only get one vote per viewer in this stream, so...
Hey, you know what? I'm not actually viewing your stream, but seeing as how I'm in the Discord and just butting in at random, I'll give Final my vote. How about that?
You know what? You know what, Dad? Thank you. Final deserves all the credit he can get. Did everyone else just pick the subscriber with poo in the name? If you didn't, I'd be disappointed. All right. Oh, okay. We're actually getting pretty close there. The mini masses. Yes. Did you vote for Josh? Joshy Poo? Yay, finally got one vote. Yeah. Well, Final, I wanted to ask you, any predictions for March 25th? On what might get released? You voted for Pooh? Good man. Good man. I voted Skylar for that Erebus joke. Honestly, it wouldn't let me vote because I created the poll. But all answers in that poll were valid answers. I voted for Luke. Honestly, I agree with that. I voted against myself, I think. Well, Luke, you're not supposed to vote against yourself. But well played. Well done. I liked how most of it... Yeah, my bankruptcy, probably. I don't know if we're going to see any AOS stuff worthwhile, but I'd love to. Oh, there's smoke again. I'm assuming 11th edition CGI trailer. Oh, I would love to see that. And if Valrak is right that we're going to be getting that, I'm going to leave you guys to nerd out more. I need to hit the bed because I got to get up early again tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow. If I do, it'll be after I get off work. So it'll be a smaller stream, but yes, I'll plan on streaming at least a little bit tomorrow. So if you want to go ahead and head to bed, Miri, I appreciate you stopping by. Genuinely, thank you so much. Get yourself some good sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow if you want to pop in and say hi for a little bit. Yay, fun. I'd love to see an 11th edition CGI trailer. I don't know what we'll get from them. If the rumors are to be believed, it's supposed to be a Blood Angels versus Orcs, and I would love to see that. All right, let's get some tiny bits of cork in here. All right. By the way, I forgot to ask you, Wizard, would it be possible for you to stream on Sunday? Because that's the day I'm not going to the Warhammer store on the weekend. You know, Luke, fingers crossed for the new Vanguard vets finally. I agree with you. You know, Luke, we could see this upcoming Sunday shouldn't be much of an issue, I don't think. It just depends on what's going on in my personal life. I like to try to spend some time with my wife on the weekends, although she might disagree with me here in the chat. But if there's some free time, I might be able to pop in and do so. I work on Sundays, so I will do what I can. But yeah, I'd be in. Just like I said, it just depends on how my free time goes. New Vanguard vets? Yes. I already answered that one, but yes, I think Vanguard vets would be nice to see. Have you ever done any kit bashes? Because I have some Tech Marines I did for the Penumbra Reapers. Most of what I do tends to be a little bit of a kit bash. I was actually working on, like I said, an Alpha Legion Loyalist chapter of Space Marines, and the idea was they would do like no Terminator armor. Wizard's wife, if you're reading the chat, please let him stream on Sunday, please. I was trying to work on Loyalist Alpha Legion, And I didn't want them to have Terminators because I thought Terminators would be just kind of if I had to be honest with you, for a stealth-based army. So the idea was they use mostly Phobos and Gravis armor. So I was taking a lot of Phobos armored units and kind of kit bashing them to resemble standard battle line units. And I did a lot of like suppressors at a thin plastic rod for them too, which I just thought was cool. We will. I see if I still have some of the models. I have to finish that up. But yeah, a lot of Reavers, a lot of Phobos. It was actually really cool. There we go. Okay. Hey, Skylar, guess how old I am? I'm not Skylar, so I'm going to let Skylar answer that one. Okay. So I've got the angle right for the toe, mostly. But I need to fill out. Orcs is back. I'm ready to get some proper fighting. Oh, gosh. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a nice time. If I can have him Saturday, y'all can have him on Sunday. Well, good news, my love. I have no plans on Saturday or Sunday but to spend time with you. So, in fact, it's actually why I'm trying to get the stream out of the way now. Because tonight, I have nothing but intentions on spending time with you. $34? What do you mean 34? I'm 15. I've never seen this process before, and you got algorithmed to me. You know what, Stolas? Well, firstly, thank you. Glad to see you here. I am working my butt off on trying to get my knights posed in unique poses at the moment and coming up with bases. And it's trying to build a rock at a corkboard layer by layer because I have the small corkboard is presenting to be a little bit of a challenge for me. I'm not going to lie to you. So, but as long as you don't mind watching a grown man superglue his fingers down to cork repeatedly, welcome to the stream. I've heard Commissar Yerrick has returned, which I'm glad Gaz is stoked about. What do you mean, Wizard's Wife? Please let us stream on Sunday, please. She's saying as long as I get to hang out with her on Saturday, I'll stream on Sunday. So, I promise. Yes, I am stoked. I'm so glad Commissar Yarrick is not dead. That GW seems to have retconned their terrible, terrible story. Me and the rest of chat are begging you, Wizard's Wife, please let us stream on Sunday, please. But yeah, Commissar Yarrick should not have died in a Warhammer community lore blurb, which it was speculation, I know, but it is very nice to see the Commissar Yarg back in play. A legendary character in his own right deserves to have a legendary ending and not some stinking lore blurb. I will admit, though, it would have been nice to get a short story if, like, Angron had killed him and Gaz getting revenge, but I'd much rather see Commissar Yarg back in the spotlight and back on Armageddon. Is Yarrick wearing an Orc Power Claw? I need to read about him. Yes, he is wearing an Orc Power Claw. He is like an Orc boogeyman, believe it or not. The Orcs are terrified of Commissar Yarrick. They think of him as an Orc, not a human, and he wears an Orc Power Claw because he put one on, and the Orcs believe he can use it, so he actually can use it. The collective belief in Commissar Yarrick has given the I just squirted super glue all over my desk. Given him the ability to use an Orc Power Claw, which is freaking awesome. he's a cool character. I love Commissar Yarrick. The only one allowed to kill Yarrick is Gazgul. I agree. And the fact that the community kind of believed Angron might have been the one to kill him, and we were going to see a war between Angron over Commissar Yarrick would have been sick. But like I said, I am just glad Commissar Yarrick is still back. I'd rather him not be gone. I will say, though, I'm a little disappointed with the trailer that they showed for his return, that they show Krieg all over Armageddon, but they don't have Armageddon Steel Legion. So I think the Armageddon Steel Legion may just, like, be gone. Like, they just now maybe, like, lore fluff more than actually a proper guardsman regiment again, which is a shame. But I get it. There's only so much you can do. The weirdest thing is that Gazgul had a chance to kill Yarrick, but he let him go. Oh, yeah. Well, Gazgul wants a good crumpin', but he doesn't want to kill the only Humie that ever gave him a run for his money. I actually do know from my own hypothesis on how Commissar... To be fair, it was orc logic, so yeah, I agree. I am going to have to trim this down quite a bit. Good enemies are hard to find. Yes, and the fact that Commissar Yarrick might have the highest kill count in the entirety of 40k, just from the Third War of Armageddon, is nice. See this? So it's kind of hard to tell, but this cork board here has warped, so the toe actually doesn't make contact. So I'm going to have to add a little bit more cork board to this and then sand it down, which is going to annoy the ever-loving crap out of me. The way he came back was someone spread a rumor that he was back. He was back in, or used their war power to bring him back through their thoughts. It's possible. It's possible. We never did get a story on how Yarrick died, so it may just have been misdirection, right? He may have just disappeared from the fleet that he was with and went back to Armageddon, and kind of everyone thought he was dead, and it turns out he was just coming home. Collective fear of Yarrick necromancing him is also a funny idea. Yes, it is a very funny idea. It's a very funny and intriguing idea, and the fact that there's a very sizable theory that the Emperor is only alive still because of the Orcs' collective belief that the Emperor is alive is also a funny one. Alright, I'll let the dogs in before they destroy anything in the backyard. Okay, I think that's enough extra material that... Oh, I wish it was enough extra material. It is not. Dang it. There is no reason why this needs to be as difficult as it is. Why? Okay. Okay. Yay, Wizard has to go back to gluing his fingers to corkboard for another half an hour. Yeah, this is see, I wanted to get through the corked board to make the rock so I can start working on the Knight Errant, and I'm not sure why this is becoming like the bulk of the stream. It's just me building 2 freaking rocks. I'm unless it's just...
So instead of being between a rock and a hard place, you're between two rocks?
I'm between two rocks. Well, to be fair, a rock could also be a hard place, Pa.
Not disagreeing, but, meager attempt at humor.
Listen, it worked. I chuckled internally. So... This is so stupid. Why doesn't this work? I don't understand. Okay. That could work. Okay, let's just hold you there. Not let you get adjusted. And this is why I do these streams, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who want to get into this hobby, and they see all these really nice models on the internet, and they're like, "Ah, man, I wish I could do something like that. These guys are just really good at what they do." And then they can see my retarded butt coming in here, trying to do something. Don't let the cork win. Stolas, I plan on not letting the cork win. And they could just see someone who is incompetent like me building a cool-looking model and go, you know what? If this idiot can do it, so can I. And that's the mentality everyone should have. Because if this idiot can do it, so can you. Holy moly. I'm autistic, I'm not intelligent. There's going to be my tagline on this freaking channel. Okay. Knock the glue over. Thank you, stream. That's close. That's close. No. There we go. I never wanted to get into miniatures, but love seeing the process. It's so fun to learn about 40K. Well, I'll tell you what. I have spent almost 20 years in this hobby in some way, shape, or form. So if you have questions about 40K or there's something you want to know, I at least know a little bit about it. So please feel free to ask. I got into Warhammer because my mate told me about it, and I started with Chaos Space Marines. That is a great place to start. A lot of people start with Chaos Space Marines. I don't know the vibe here, so don't be so hard on yourself. No, honestly, I like to shit talk myself mostly because one, I think it's entertaining, but two, it's as a joke. Honestly, I want everybody who comes to these streams to just see a guy building models, and even if it doesn't look like a super professional ending to the model itself, anybody can get in and build. And I want everybody to see and experience the joy of model making, because I think it's one of the most zen hobbies you can get into. I'm not a great painter. Honey, if you're still in the chat, you might actually know this one. There's some girl on TikTok that claims that she's a master writer. She's only ever written one book, and it was a fan fiction she started, and she keeps quoting the old adage of it takes 10,000 hours to master something. And she goes again, if that's true, I spent 10,000 hours writing this one book, and I'm a master. If that's the case, I'm a master painter because I've watched a ton of YouTube painting videos, and I suck at painting. I'm a perfectionist, and I don't stop until I have. I did end up buying his tier, and it's nice. I have this perseverance that won't let me go until I make what I envision in my head finally happen. So, but I'm not a master painter. I suck at painting personally. But you know what's interesting? Paint on a model draws the eyes to it. If you have a very professionally painted model, your model's going to draw a lot of attention and a lot of eyes to it. You know another way you can do that? Dynamic poses on your knights. Knights do not come and look like this. I've had to break the toes apart. I've had to saw the shins off of the thighs of the model. I had to repose all of these fingers here because this static sticking pose is the only pose that they come into. So I've had to replace all the joints with plastic rod. It doesn't really show on the camera very well, but there's plastic rod in all of these, and I've extended pieces of the arm here with more plastic rod so it fits. This pose is technically not cannon friendly because I have the backwards knee here, but I really wanted a pose of a knight like sprinting straight at you, like he's about to hit you with a Reaper chainsword. This gun piece, fun fact, first stream I ever did, somebody said, "Hey, did you know that gun's upside down?" Yes, I did, because I wanted the sword on this arm, and the weapon is meant for this arm, not this arm. So I had to put this upside down to finally make that work. But, these dynamic poses, they're going to get people's attention. No one's ever seen a knight sprinting at you before on a base. All knights have come in what I call, and if Final's still here, he'll laugh, come in what I call the, cowboy high noon stance, or come in the surfer dude stance. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Just grab my, I don't have the instructions, so I'm going to pull up the box for my defender here. This is the pose that a knight defender typically comes in. It's a static pose. The legs are the way they are. The feet are positioned the way they're positioned. And so you kind of have this where the body's face on with the legs. It kind of looks like a cowboy ready at high noon, right? If you rotate the torso 90 degrees, because you can pivot, here's the legs, for example. You can pivot your torso to where the legs are like this, and now you look straight up like a surfer as a knight. I hate those two poses. I want to make dynamic poses, and I think that's what's interesting on a knight. Best part is, it doesn't matter how I paint this knight that's sprinting straight towards you, because I could do a pretty mediocre paint job, and people are still going to stop and go, "That's a really cool looking knight," because of the pose that I've done. So, you can make a model look however you want to make it look. If you're not great at painting, you can do a custom pose. And that's kind of what I'm documenting by doing these live streams, is showing people that you can make a model look however you want. It just takes some time and not a lot of skill, because people have sat here 2 hours now of watching me build a rock out of corkboard. If I was skilled, I could probably do this pretty quickly. But instead, I've managed to glue my fingers to the corkboard, glue my hand to the table. I've managed to glue my hand to a base, building another rock entirely, and choke myself on corkboard dust from sanding things down. So the vibe or lesson, I suppose, is you can do whatever you want to do as long as you put your mind to it and you're willing to understand that you're going to look like an idiot the first few times you try something, but you only get better. Great example is this foot. I had to repose all the toes on it, and I spent, 2 days trying to figure out how to make the toes look the way I wanted them to look. Damn it. More corkboard dust. It took me like 2 days to figure this out, and it took me several hours to do one foot. I have now managed to do 2 toes in about 15 minutes, and it just takes some time. And it's only 2 toes. It's not an entire foot, sure, but I figured the process out, and now I can knock this out no problem. I know what I'm doing. Same thing with the corkboard. I'm sure you give me 3 or 4 more days of building rocks this size, you're going to see me knocking these out pretty damn quickly. And it's really not that big of a deal. It's just, I don't think anybody who makes YouTube videos who shows this process of it shows the trial and error of figuring something out and looking like a dork while doing it. And I think that's something that's sorely missing. And there's so many people now coming into the hobby with the ending of 10th edition and 11th edition just around the corner that I want those people to see me looking like an idiot trying to make a rock, because it's going to make them go, "Oh, well, I'm not alone." I could tell that it was a rock as soon as I got here, so that's a success. Thank you, Stolas. The Hellbrutes all have the same body, and I noticed when looking at the pictures. Yes, that's my point. If you take some time, you can make that paint on a model look absolutely photorealistic if you wanted to, and people will stop and look at it. Or change the pose. spend 2-3 hours just making a model look slightly different from a visual standpoint, and you're going to have the same effect as you would if you were a master painter. Now I'm going to try something I've not done in a while, so I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to do it together. Also, drastic change in music. If this is too loud, please let me know. I apologize. I was going for chill music with Fief, but we finished the entire collection of Fief, so I was going to my other favorite synthwave playlist. By the way, did you read my previous message? I went AFK for a minute. That makes perfect sense, Wizard. Exactly. I did. I was still in the middle of my rant, but I did read it. Thank you, by the way, Luke. That means a lot. There we go. Thank you, Luke. All right, I got to get this. The hardest part for all of this, and I'm trying to reduce the amount of corkboard dust I make, because my little vacuum cleaner can keep up with it, but sometimes this dust gets really fine and it gets caught through the air filter and I just send it flying everywhere. But I'm going to try to trim a lot of these edges down, so when I go over with my Dremel, my Fantic, I can actually sand the rock down a little bit and make it look a little more even. And I'm going to need to get a drink. That dust is in my throat. Sorry, I don't mean to DSP you guys.
Well, if you choke yourself out, it's really not a successful stream, then is it?
You know what? I agree. Who has a better aesthetic, Chaos or Imperial? You know what? Here's the thing. General Chaos Undivided, I have to admit, it's got a pretty metal aesthetic. If you're really into that like hardcore metal aesthetic, quickly chat while he's gone to cause as much chaos as possible. It's not the only thing in his throat. Thank you, Josh. By the way, get your butt back in here, bro. If you're into that like heavy metal 80s era kind of stuff, Chaos Undivided's got a pretty nice aesthetic to it. Personally, I love the high gothic of the Empire. The Imperium is so cool. But I gotta give it to him. Chaos does look good. I don't know about all that metallic trim, man. That was definitely a choice back in the 80s. I don't think my wife's here anymore. It's sad. It's nice of her to stop in and say hi, though.
Yeah.
It was. I love my wife. I need to spend some time with her tonight. I didn't do as much spending time with her last night as I wanted to because, well, she left to go to Five Below. I'll say this, though.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Dad. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I'm going to sign off here for too much longer and give it a break tonight myself.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Imperium drip is also very varied. It really depends on what you're into. No, Wizard's wife's gone. Yeah, well, she has a very important job. She probably just popped in to say hi while she had some time. Yeah, it depends on the Imperial drip, though. I have to say, I love the Imperial drip, but like if we're talking like Black Templars, they are pretty peak, I have to admit. More so than Ultramarines, in my opinion. I'm kind of obsessed with Nurgle art. It's what finally first got me interested. I have to say, Nurgle is probably my favorite Chaos God, which is a shame because everyone says I should be Tzeentch because of the autism, and I agree. I should be, but Nurgle is just so good. What does she do? She's an office manager. I really like the Imperial and Tau aesthetic. I hate to say it, I really like the Tau aesthetic. I know. It's Tau, like, ugh, but still. Don't blame me. I didn't blame you.
Edward just looked up like Spider-Man with his Spidey sense tingling.
Don't blame me, Law. My wife just joined back. I didn't blame you. I said you have an important job. Sad rowboat noises. Oh, thank you, Final. Hey, Dad, my wife's back. Chat, back me up. I was really just telling how much I love and miss my wife, please. Why do people hate the honestly, kind of the meme. It's really all it is. That's the only reason I quote-unquote hate the Tau is for the meme. I'll say this. Part of it comes from when the Tau were first introduced. I love the aesthetics of death. Yes, the athletics or the aesthetics. That's a very important distinction. But the problem is when the Tau were first introduced, they were like the bad guys. He said he hates you. I did not, Josh. You shut your mouth. That's the problem is when they first were introduced, they were the good guys. And there are supposed to be no good guys in 40K. And that's kind of like the whole point. So that's why he was talking so much smack about you. Damn it, Luke. Dad, back me up here, please.
Oh, yeah, they are absolutely throwing you under the bus right now, and it's unwarranted. You did nothing wrong.
Thank you. He was also cheating on you with me. Thanks, Josh. But yeah, the problem is they were really like just the first good guys introduced to the faction, and that was a lot of the hate. And then GW tried to scale it back, and they just didn't do a very good job with the Ethereals potentially mind controlling people. They didn't actually like confirm that that's what was happening. And then the other big issue is that from a lore perspective, it doesn't make much sense. Like, you know, in theory, right, they're smack dab between Necrons and Tyranids and the Imperium. And the problem is like, they should get their teeth kicked in, but GW saves them because, one, they're selling models, so there's a little bit of plot armor there. If they were to redo the Tau at any point in time, that might help. The problem is it's just they kind of backed themselves into a corner. This is also one of my favorite songs by a band called The Magic Sword. So if anyone's interested in it, The Magic Sword Volume 1 is the name of the album. I was gonna saw that, but I don't think I need to. I think we're fine. There we are. I'll say, you know, here's a good question for you. Who here, like, who's still watching? What do you think is the most tragic Primarch? Looking real craggy? Like a rock, my bro. Like a rock. I've been here the whole time. I'm just sneaky. That's why I love you, babe. I think people didn't like them because they were a very shooty army, and that's it. You know, I gotta say, Perturabo or the Lion, Perturabo. Okay, I understand why people say Perturabo. I think all of you are wrong, but I see why you say the Perturabo. The problem I have with Perturabo, it comes from the Corvus Corax. Angron won't take any other. You and I have had this conversation. Shut up. I feel like Angron or Kurz never had a chance to be better, which is tragic in their own way. You know, again, yeah, I agree. Corvus for me too. I agree. So, okay, let me defend my stance on Perturabo. I understand why people say Perturabo. My problem with Perturabo comes from his early story stuff, which could be retconned. They haven't done it so because it's part of his origin. Perturabo is his own worst enemy. He is He's the most lovable a-hole you'll ever have. Actually, hold on, wait a minute. I'm changing mine. It's Angron. And I completely forgot about his backstory. It's Angron 100%. Yeah, I agree, Luke. Angron's pretty good. Perturabo, so, like, you know, when he had his adopted family and he was living with the king and they had that competition, like, there was a brother that Perturabo loved to pick on, right? I do not hate Perturabo. I do like Perturabo. He's just an a-hole. That's all it comes down to. I'm just a purple orc, honey. I have never loved you more than I do in this exact moment right now. And that's saying something. So Perturabo had a brother that he liked to pick on an awful lot, and he challenged his brother to many competitions regularly. And his brother was an artist and a sculptor. Oh, yeah, I made this worse. Yeah, I made this worse. What is a purple orc / wizard? So, a what purple orc? Purple orcs. Are you not familiar with purple orcs as a meme, Skylar? They're great. I love purple orcs. So you know how like orcs have belief in colors, bring abilities and whatnot. Skylar coming in for another funny one. Oh wait, what? I got you. Damn it. Never mind. I'm gonna. I'm retarded. It's odd how Perturabo and Zinch both refuse to take victories because they want to see their plans play. Agreed. Yeah, Skylar, I caught it on. I'm just stupid. Don't worry about it. The problem I have with Perturabo, though, so he challenges his brother to competitions and beats him regularly just to make himself feel better. Now, that's not in and of itself the reason why I don't think Perturabo is the most tragic. What I do think is this. Perturabo would challenge his brother to make himself feel better and beat his brother in every competition that they were in. But his brother is a sculptor and an artist, and so he the last challenge he ever did, he challenged his brother to an art competition to make a sculpture, and Perturabo finished in a day. And there were like a bunch of judges, and the judges saw the artwork and like, oh, this is perfect, this is mastery, how could anyone beat this? And it took his brother 3 days to finish his statue, but he finally finished his statue. And his brother won the competition. The judges unanimously said Perturabo lost to his brother in this competition. And Perturabo, first graciously accepted the defeat and whatnot, came back into the throne room after everyone had left in the middle of the night and smashed his brother's statue up so much that it looked like it was gravel by the time he was done. That you could not put the stones back together again to make the statue, all because he was beaten by his brother, right? And you take that story with the fact that, he said he only ever wanted to build and create, like when he was in the tower talking about the bathhouse he was designing with his adopted father, and his adopted father was like, oh, well, we can build this, let's do it. And he was like, no, you want to use me as a weapon of war, and that's all I'm ever gonna be, is a weapon of war. And he just threw a hissy baby fit and then decided to go ahead and follow that path and become like I'm gonna be what you want me to be, Dad. You don't want me to be my art, even though his dad was like, yeah, let's build this is amazing, right? And he carries that same attitude over with the Emperor. He wanted to build according to him, and he wanted to do amazing things like build up worlds like Rogel Dorn got to do, but all he ever was used for with his legion was to wage offensive wars and destroy planets, according to Perturabo, right? But during the Great Crusade, Perturabo never stopped to rebuild the worlds he conquered or build great works on the planets like Rogel Dorn did with his. He only ever attacked and destroyed them and then moved on to the next one. He chose that lot in his life, and I have zero sympathy for him as a character. I love Perturabo. He is an a-hole through and through. My dad hasn't gotten there yet, so I'm not going to talk about like the conflict between Perturabo and Fulgrim that happens during the Horus Heresy, which is awesome. And if you haven't read that, please do so. But other than that, like, there's nothing about Perturabo that I think is tragic. He's just an a-hole who did this to himself, right? He's just an emo kid who's like, you just don't get it, Dad, the entire time. I do agree, though. I think Angron's story is really tragic and sad, and that one messes me up a little bit every time. Which is a shame, because he's such a good character, and I love his backstory. It's so tragic and sad. But you want to know the truth? The most tragic Primarch, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, and I know I'm going to get some hate in this, and Josh knows where this is going. I think it's Fulgrim. I think Fulgrim is the most tragic Primarch of all of the Fallen Primarchs, period. Because, you know, in the original lore, before, and they did do a retcon, I'll say this. They did do a retcon, so like you're going to understand why I say this in a second. In the original lore, he gets the Lair Blade from Horus, and he's like, it's constantly corrupting him and weakening him, right? Angron's story is so miserable, it's almost comical. I agree. Angron's story is so sad. But like, he gets the Lair Blade, and the Lair Blade it's slowly corrupting him, and he doesn't understand the influence that it's having on him at first, right? And the Emperor's Children was the pride of the Emperor. It was the only legion allowed to have the Aquila on their armor and wear the Emperor's seal, right? Which is a big deal, right? Then they go about, you know, into the galaxy. He has the Lair Blade, and it's slowly corrupting him, right? And then, like, it's slowly turning him towards chaos. It's slowly getting him to this point, but he's resisting it because he's a Primarch. But it's happening in small stages. Finally, you know, Horus declares his heresy, and the Lair Blade pushes him to join Horus, and he feels obligated to join Horus because Horus gave him this mystical blade, and Horus is making good arguments to him. All the while, it's the sword that was influencing him the whole time. And I'm charging the Fantic, but I had to plug in my headset, my guy, and I can't use it while it's charging. Now, can I? Anyway, so he's actually, like, super best friends with... Fulgrim has pretty privilege, though. He's hard to sympathize with. I see where you're coming from. I think Magnus would also be up there if he wasn't so pompous. That's my point. Like, Perturabo would be tragic if he wasn't an asshole. Magnus would also be tragic if he wasn't an arrogant, narcissistic douche. Like... Anyway, that's the flaws that they have, and they're great characters for it. But the reason I say Fulgrim is the tragic one, is he finally gets convinced by the Lair Blade, right, to join Horus, and he feels obligated to assist Horus and all of this. But the entire time, it's the Lair Blade that's doing it. Well, then, you know, finally the confrontation with Ferrus Manus happens on the planet, and Ferrus Manus and he are best friends. Like, they are inseparable up to this point. Well, here's the thing. Ferrus Manus is a loyalist. Fulgrim is now on the traitor's side. And the entire time they're fighting a duel, Fulgrim is basically begging his brother to join him. He doesn't want to fight him. He wants he wants Ferrus Manus to join Horus and join him and fight against the corruption of the Emperor and all of this stuff, right? All you had to do was sit still, and you could... Oh, you're talking about Magnus. The problem is, right, that in this duel, he's trying not to kill Ferrus, but Ferrus is, like, trying to kill him throughout the entire part of this duel. And so he's accepting power from the Lair Blade, not knowing what's going to happen. And then eventually, right, Ferrus denies him for, like, the third time about joining Horus, and he swings at Ferrus, and he's trying to miss Ferrus's head. He's trying to incapacitate him, But in that moment, the lair blade takes over and causes him to cut off Ferris's head and killing him. And in that moment, after the Ferris is murdered by the blade, which is supposed to be the last betrayal the blade needed, the greater demon inside the blade and Fulgrim swap places. And Fulgrim never wanted that. So he was trapped in a painting by the demon that is now possessing his body. And people don't... And, like, even Horus is like, you're not my brother, because he knows that Fulgrim's no longer in charge of his own body, right? Which is insane, if you think about it. And I'm like, oh, it's so sad. Fulgrim never had a chance. He just like Angron is tragic in the sense that he was never had an opportunity away from the nails to be true to himself. Fulgrim, every step of the way in the Horus Heresy, was influenced by a demon trapped inside of a blade that he didn't even know was a threat to begin with, because the Emperor didn't want to warn them about entities within the warp, right? And now he's been forced to swap places with this demon, and now a demon is controlling Fulgrim's body and makes Fulgrim, you know, the demon Primarch and all this. It wasn't even Fulgrim in charge. And then lastly, you know, they said they made a short story later, and this is where people who know that this part of the lore are like, actually, they retconned it, where they made it where Fulgrim and the Emperor's children figure out Fulgrim is no longer Fulgrim at some point. They don't really explain how, they just know. And so they come up with a plan. They're going to capture Fulgrim, his physical form, and they're going to torture the body to try to get the demon to leave his body and then pull his soul out of this painting. And then, so they do this, and they start torturing, like, Snake Fulgrim, and they're trying to make Fulgrim, you know, like, make the demon come out, and they're, like, doing everything they can, and they torture him for, like, days, right? Days on end. And then they realize, like, the painting is a demon. Like, the demon is trapped inside the painting and not Fulgrim's soul. And then Fulgrim literally just unstraps himself from the table and thanks them for the pleasurable experience and then leaves. So at some point, Fulgrim takes back control of his body, which I think, in my mind, ruins the story arc of Fulgrim up to that point. Because Fulgrim's whole point was it was a tragic tale of one of the greatest champions of the Imperium being corrupted and never really having a chance to fight back. And GW retconned it. By the way, sorry I'm not typing so much because my phone's about to die. No worries, Luke. You know what, man? I'm just glad you're here. And if you have to dip because your phone's going away, like, be my guest, man. It's great to see you, though. Hey, that's a really long-winded way of saying why I think Fulgrim is actually the most tragic Primarch, and then GW ruining it, so... I hope I didn't bore anybody.
Well, people will call me biased, but I wasn't born.
Thank you, Deb.
I do think Lorgar getting absolutely embarrassed by his father in front of everybody is pretty tragic too.
Yeah, because that really is what pushed him to join Chaos. Maybe Fulgrim is a double agent. He still comes back as a loyalist demon Primarch, but still keeps a lot of creepy Selenish mannerisms in his comedy goal. You know, I think I actually have a theory with like Clone Grim being around that we're going to see all of the Primarchs return to the setting. You're putting a lot of effort into that spot, and that foot's going to cover it up. I'm trying to smooth out the rock to make it look natural in general, but you're right. Do you have any hopes for what you want to happen in 11th edition? Oh, man. 11th edition. Man, sorry. Let me go back to my original thought with Stolas first. I think we're going to get every Primarch to return. Every single one. Ferrus Manus, Sanguinius, all of them in some form. But they will return. And I think we're going to have a lot of loyalist Primarchs, too. Like, I think we're going to see loyalist versions of every Primarch. Because I think with Clone Grim, it's kind of setting the precedent that... it's possible. And I have a lot more evidence to suggest that. But in 11th edition, you know what I'd love to see within 11th edition? I want Rust to come back.
I want Rustabeck so bad. My favorite Primarch of all time. My wolf baby, Lehman Russ. I'd love to see that. I want to see Perturabo. My biggest prediction for 11th edition is Dark Admech. I want Heretics to come into the setting for the first time. I think that would be cool. See, like, Demon Engines and then Vashtor and all that. Yeah, I think that'd be dope. I think Dark Admech. I think Lehman Russ, Demon Perturabo, and Vashtor. And I think Vashtor coming back, and if he ascends to God, I think what we'll see is a Dark Admech army get released, or at the very least, if Perturabo does return, I think Perturabo will most of his army will be Iron Warriors, but there will be a severe Dark Admech quality to it. But I could see Dark Admech. I think that's my biggest prediction for this. And then, of course, I have a few predictions. Yes, Perturabo and Dark Mechanicus would be sick. Vashtor finally ascends to Chaos God. I have predictions as well for what I want to see for AOS as well, because I know next edition of AOS drops next year, I believe. I think we'll see. I don't know if anyone here is an AOS fan, but I think we'll finally see the Umbraneth, the Shadow Elves return in AOS. Which would be nice. Sorry, I'm also like really concentrating on getting this rock shaped properly. And Josh is right, I'm really concentrating on this spot only for a foot to cover it up, but Vashtor would fit so well in Dark Mechanicus. I'm not a player, but I want Nurgle to take over. In many ways, Stolas, Nurgle has already taken over. And I'm not like talking like in a metaphysical sense. I mean, like from an edition standpoint, we have had more Nurgle content in the last 10 years than we've ever had in the entirety of 40k. Like, he is now the biggest Chaos God in terms of model representation, faction representation, and lore representation. We have more Nurgle lore now than we ever have at any point in time, which is amazing. Skylar, I'm always a fan of elves. I would love to see more of them. Elves, dwarves. I'd love to see more of them. Fire Slayers would be amazing. What's my favorite knight? Like, are you talking about Imperial Knights, Luke? Yes, the grandfather should take over. In many ways, the grandfather already has taken over. That's the problem. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a rock. We have a rock, ladies and gentlemen, and it fits perfectly with the foot that I've created, and it doesn't really show up really well on camera, but it looks like a rock. You're talking about PL Knights? Imperial Knights, yes. Okay. Fun fact. My favorite knight of all time, I've already answered this question, but not in the live stream necessarily. I have an entire series on my YouTube shorts that I did a couple months ago called Posting Daily Warhammer Content Until I Own an Acastus Knight Porphyrion. And since I'm no longer posting my oddly satisfying... Thank you, Stolas. Since I'm no longer posting daily Warhammer content, I think you might understand why. The Porphyrion is such an interesting model. It's a massive model. It's probably the most expensive. That's a very nice rock. Thank you. Thank you. It's important to note, it's not a boulder. It's a rock. Sweet. Jiminy Christmas. That's a lot of freaking corkboard dust. Yeah, it's looking good. But the Acastus Knight Porphyrion is my favorite. It's the most expensive knight that exists, but that's not why I wanted it. I think the model just looks sick, if you ask me. I want to save all of these bits, but I don't think I can. All right. Let's get this. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that's really interesting. The Acastus Knight Porphyrion is my favorite knight model of all time. Can confirm it is amazing, and I cannot wait to build it next week. I'll have to cut all the pieces out, but I will be doing so. Hey, baby. You lurking in my stream? You didn't what now?
Realize it was so delayed.
Yeah, it's just because of the feed. Streams like this tend to be. I wish it was like caught up to live. That's the thing. Okay, I've got too many big chunks here, so I'm just gonna have to dump this in this box, unfortunately. All right. Underrated hobby tool, by the way, as a desk vacuum cleaner. It's not everywhere that needs to be vacuumed, but it's most stuff. Okay, so I've got that done. Now, I have to figure out how to pose it on my base. I'm thinking... Come on now. Okay, we'll do it like that, I think. I think that'll work. Okay, where is... I'm going to have to... Okay. I don't have my pen, so I'm going to have to do this old school with a blade mark, but that does work, I think. Okay. Let's get my super glue that I've absolutely borked. Okay. I have not had my preceptor able to stand on its base since I built it. I'm so glad to finally have a rock that I can use for photos and whatnot. I have posted in many a Discord and on Instagram a video of me using a Tupperware lid because it's the perfect height to support the preceptor. And I am so glad I have a rock now that this actually works on. You have no idea how satisfying this is for me to have my knight stand on its actual base. Oh my god. Oh, hi, Mom.
Zach's mom is in the chat.
My mother is in the chat. Hello. You have no idea how exciting it is that I now have a base that my preceptor can stand on. This pose has been... It's one of the coolest poses I have. I love the pose that the preceptor has, because I based it off of a Leagues of Votan model, but now that it has the rock, I mean, that just looks awesome. You need my head. Thank you, Mother. But yeah, that just looks awesome. I am tickled pink by how this turned out. Huh. This is awesome. Okay. All right. My Preceptor is finished. Hell yeah. All right. So Preceptor, done. Thank you. Okay. So that's done. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to get right next to the microphone. My apologies if I'm getting a little too close. No. No way. I can't believe that happened. I'm going to have to do some shaving on that, it looks like. I want it known that I left another sheep stream to come over here, and I seriously need your head, because I think your hat is done. I'll tell you what, Mother. I will get with... I'll get with my wife and see what we can do. I might be able to swing over tonight.
Maybe we, the four of us, have dinner tonight or tomorrow or something.
You know, yeah, let me do that. Is the magnet? The magnet is in at an odd angle. Oh, that's so freaking annoying. Well, I can't abide having a void shield generator sitting at a cockeyed angle. That just does not work for me. So, we're going to have to fix this. And the easiest way to do that is with plastic. Very thin plastic.
Or if you had the patience of your father by bashing it against something until it was dismantled and then you could rebuild it.
Dad, I don't want to destroy a $150 plastic model. Not even $150, almost $200 model. I see our dearest Ed boy has finally left us. That's sad. He never even got to stop by and say hi. Okay. All right. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this banner piece out because I'm not using the banner on my Knight Defender. It's pretty thin plastic. I think I can cut what I need off of it. My wife says she wants Emma L's.
Done.
All right, I guess we're doing that tonight. Let's go. All right, let's check this out. We're gonna watch me play surgeon on the fly here. It's actually not bad. Okay. What was my first knight? Oh, man. So it depends. It depends on your definition of knight. If you're talking like the first model of the knight's range I ever bought, it would have been an armature set. Specifically well, I guess it doesn't matter. Any armature sets. Explains why my dog was wagging his tail so emphatically. What's up, sweetheart?
I have a project for you if you would like it.
Okay, what's up?
I need you to glue that back together.
Oh, okay.
You seem to have the tools to do that.
I seem to have the tools to fix this. Okay. So I need to glue... Oh,
I
okay.
dropped it and it broke.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I can fix that here. I had to stay with my mom so everyone can be at St. Patty's. You know what? Yes. So, okay, sorry, to answer your question, Luke, I am so sorry. So, my first knight would have been an armature set. The first knight I ever built from the armature set would have been a Helverin armature. But if we're talking full-fledged knight, my very first knight was a Knight Dominus that I built as a Castellan. Sorry, I derailed the chat. Mother, you're allowed to derail the chat. It's fine. Alright, I'm going to need tweezers for this. Okay. So I have to figure out how to fix my magnet with enough plastic that I can level out my... Or I could just drop it on the floor. That would be...
Now you're venturing into my territory.
Well, what the hell happened to it? Where did it go? Why did I cut the banner? I need a piece of plastic to level out my void shield generator for my Knight Defender. But now I have to find the freaking void shield generator. Hold on 1 second here. Where the... What the hell? I felt it bounce off my leg. Where did it go? Hon, do you have it? No? The puppy doesn't have it. No, you can't get in my lap, buddy. You can't. All right, buddy, go on. Oh my God, Han, hi, yes, hello, hi. I'm being attacked by a cute, adorable puppy. I have no idea where it ended up. I don't know where my void... I have no idea where my void shield generator is. It's got to be somewhere. Hello.
Because I can't help myself. Maybe it's in the void.
You know what? I hope you stub your toe. Just build it up with I'm not even using the banner. Why do you care if I cut my own banner? I don't know where it is. It's a large piece.
What are you doing?
It's
What is happening here? Both of you out.
It's got to be here. It's about the size of a freaking missile launcher. I mean, where would it go? It's about the size of this, honestly. It's like a small round piece of this, but I don't know where... I felt it bounce off my leg, and now Chewy got it. I don't think so. It's big. It's big. You're not going to miss it. It's about the size of a quarter, or a little larger than a quarter.
Han ate it for sure.
Han wasn't even under my legs. Ow. What? I don't know where this ended up. It could theoretically be under my stand. I don't know. I don't. Well, this was unplanned.
This is your chance to pull a Clarkson.
What am I supposed to say? Is pulling a Clarkson.
And on that bombshell.
Yes. Han, hello, hi. I'm on the ground and a puppy is attacking me. Alright, well, you know what? I'll tell you what.
This is more than you'd expect from a stream.
Yes, unfortunately. I'm gonna you're attacking me. Stop it. I'm gonna bring you guys with me so this isn't absolutely boring to watch, but it can't be in a lot of places. It's not behind there. It's not behind the TV. It's not behind the stand. Where the hell did it go? There's not very many places it could have gone. Is it under the dog crate? No? I don't see it. Well, this... Stop. Stop it. Hello, Chewy. Well, guess we're going to go back up here. I don't know what on earth could have happened to it. No idea.
Hey, if you don't find it, this just gives every one of us a reason to come back.
Yeah, I what the hell?
don't... None of this makes any sense. What is happening? Chewy. Boys. Man, and I was so close to, wrapping up, too. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Okay, alright. Well, that was freaking embarrassing. Alright, thank you very much, by the way. The dogs are adorable. Imagine trying to get on the floor to look for a piece of model, only for the small puppy to jump into your lap and be super excited that you moved. Not the definition of helpful, but it is adorable. Ugh. Too bad your sister's at work, she's the finder. You're not wrong. Okay. Holy crap. Okay, that was embarrassing. Where was I? Oh, right. Trying to fix. Thank you, Final. I'm glad you're still here. Okay. Where was I? Trying to balance this. Why am I cutting up the banner? Well, I'm not using the banner, Josh, for my knight. So, and if I get another knight that I could use the banner on, I will, have another banner with that knight. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm not wearing shoes, Josh. Thank you. It was under the computer desk. It had rolled like a good 2 feet under the desk. Okay. Why on earth would I be wearing full shoes in my own house? Okay, so now to finally get done what I needed to get done. Okay. The man's got to make a living. Shut up, Final. I'm not getting any super chats from this. It's not like seeing my toes is going to do me any favors.
Joke's on you. You might have an unintended career.
Great. I have an unintended career in foot fetishry. Alright, this is going to be an interesting dilemma. Ronald McDonald 3s. You said you weren't going to bring that up ever again. Leave my feet out of this. Well, not with that attitude. Okay, let's try that. If that's what I need thickness-wise, I should be good. It would help if I didn't fucking drop the damn thing. Okay, come on now. Alright, I can't grip anything with those tweezers. They look exactly like your Pops' feet. Why would you say that, Mom? What the fuck? because it's normal for people to wear shoes. You should try it sometime. I am not going to be bullied in my own live stream by my family. All right, come on now. Get in there. That's better. I wouldn't say that it's exactly what I was looking for, but it's better. God bless America. Why is this so frustrating? I don't understand. Leave me alone. Go away. Get off my foot. Alright, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Darling, why the hell are you giving me shit in my live stream about wearing shoes?
Because I am your wife.
Also, my mother would like to know what time are we having dinner, and why are we using my stream's live chat to do this? We have a family group chat, ladies and gentlemen.
This is
I'm ready
fantastic. I love every bit of this.
Okay. My wife would like you to know she is ready whenever.
Well, I'm going, unlike everybody else in your family, to respect your stream. And why don't you do what you got to do, and then we'll figure out leaving.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Because, you know.
This is the new family group chat. Final welcome to the family. All right, I think I've got that. The angle on the void shield generator is now, wow, massive study there, is now much more in line with what I'm looking for. Also, the problem is my camera is still like super fucking cockeyed. There we go. It's actually much more in line with what I'm looking for. It's no longer like super at a 45-degree angle messed up like it was earlier. So, managed to get that fixed, which is good. Let that plastic glue dry. I just bumped it though. That's not bueno. Still good. Okay. Trip screaming in the background is killing me. Yeah. Yeah, this is nice. Engagement is engagement as far as YouTube is concerned, so chat moving is good. Holy shit. I'm enjoying the family drama chat. Well, shit. I guess welcome to the family group chat, everybody. Skylar, you always wanted to be adopted by a random YouTuber's family.
Hey, making the Arabs joke, you're kind of already honorarily in.
You're going to make your wife go, what? Who's Erebus? I don't understand. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Trim that down just a little bit. Maybe trimmed it down just a little too much. Nope. It's just dependent upon orientation. Wait. No. Dropping adoption papers.
All right, so that is the Defender's Void Shield generator. So I just have to remember to keep the plastic tab that I just glued down on the back. But now it's perfect, and if I take it off, you can see the plastic there on the magnet a little bit. Try to... Let me just fucking take this off real quick. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's not great. I need a better camera. Good fitment makes your boy happy. So, all right. Defender's Void Shield generator is pretty much done. Rock for the Preceptor is done. All I have left, other than gluing the Defender together, is one last thing I wanted to accomplish today. And that is my Knight Errant. So the problem with the Knight Errant, and I'm going to have to do this on camera again. And the problem with doing this on camera is I know it's not the best because I have my phone as a webcam. But the only point of contact that's going on the base is the toe. It's not the full foot, which is not great, even when I'm gluing it down, that all that weight's on that one spot. So my plan is I'm going to drill a hole in the bottom of the foot and shove plastic rod through that so I can glue the Knight Errant down to the base with a plastic rod. So first things first, insert joke here. I gotta select girth. So I think this will work. I think this is a 4mm diameter, 5mm diameter. So it's got to come down at an angle. All right. Make it. Hey, yo. Listen, am I wrong? Okay. Oh, OBS set for just a second. Make it look like it's running down a hill. No, but I can play Wonderwall. His phone died? Aw. Okay. Well, let's get this filing bit. Go ahead and hook that up. You're all inverted. Gotcha. I see the problem. It's because of the damn camera. Let me fix it. Ta-da! Took me a second. My mother retracted her message. Now I'm scared. What is it? OBS dropped again. Damn it. Why did it do that?
You said your screen went black and then went inverted.
Yeah, it's because OBS keeps shutting down. I had to fix it. Okay. It's coming back up. Tell her to be back up in just a second. I fixed it. Yeah, it's not the phone. It's OBS. For whatever reason, I don't know why. When I have my phone and I'm using it, I actually plug it in while it's in camera mode, so it shouldn't have any issues like that. But I'm having problems with OBS all of a sudden just acting up. Also, if you heard that mic ruffling, I apologize. That was just me rubbing up against the microphone. So, stream is still going, but yes, Josh, you have a question. No, actually, I'm not going to use clear rod. My plan is once I have the rod placed where I want it on the model, I'm actually going to paint the rod black, so it'll be obscured more than anything else. So I'm not overly worried about the color of the rod itself.
we're just gonna have the absolute chaos that is my desk still on stream. Okay. And you're back for me before Dad. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. OBS has been acting up, and it started about 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, and I haven't had it drop a lot. But also, my YouTube is like super delayed, and I don't know why. How am I going to secure the rod? Well, I'm going to drill a hole into the rod and pin it there. And I'm using sprue goo around where I'm pinning it in to secure the rod. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be using... yeah, now your sound is going in and out. Really? Huh. Really? That's... interesting. I don't know why that's happening, because on my end, I'm not showing any issues with sound. Yeah, I'm going to drill a hole through the base, too. Because I know where I want to glue it. I'm not going to glue it down yet, but I know where I want to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If anyone else is having issues, I apologize. I don't know why that's happening. This shouldn't be happening like it is, but it is. Also, sorry about bumping the camera there. Just a second. Ooh, that's a nice sound. Stupid YouTube. Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of it is I have been having issues on my end. So, it may not be all you guys. So, yeah, just let me know if anything else happens in the chat, please. I'm really trying here. This is the longest I've streamed up to this point. So, we'll go from there and elaborate as I need to. Perfect. I'm going to keep bumping the microphone, though. I'm sure that makes wonderful audio for you guys. Okay. So the plan here, like I said, is to drill a rod hole here. I need a larger bit, and I think that's going to be my biggest issue, is drilling the appropriate hole. Okay. Alright, I'll have to use this one, I think. So, the file bit's only going to keep melting plastic, and I don't want to do that because that could make this more complicated than it needs to be. So, I'm going to use a carving bit. Okay. It took me back to the beginning of the stream when you refreshed. Ooh, well, yeah, it's been about 3 hours. Yeah, that would be rough. Okay. Just gonna shoot my bit out of my Fantic Dremel here. Okay. This is tough. 'Cause I can't quite see where I'm carving. I'm kind of just going by feel for the most part.
Hope everyone's enjoying the lo-fi Lord of the Rings. I can't believe I've run out of music. I haven't streamed this long ever, so this is actually rather interesting. Okay. I need to carve just a little bit more out of the foot here, but I'm getting pretty dang close. You can't hear it, can you? Huh. Here, I'll turn it up just a little bit. There you go. Turned it up for you. That should help at least a little bit. Okay. Let's try that there. See, I think that'll work. Oh, much better. Much, much better. Okay. So. Too much up. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me turn that down in OBS. Is that better? So sorry about that. It's hard to balance it because I can hear it in my ears and I can't hear it through OBS. I can only hear it from my desktop. So... pick that up a little bit. I keep bumping the microphone because it's too low. There we go. That's kind of the point, actually, believe it or not. So I listen to a lot of synthwave stuff when I do streaming and whatnot, mostly because it has, one, no dialogue, no lyrics in any way, shape, or form, no audio recordings from any human being, and two, it's very chill. And this is a playlist someone has done that they've made the, I don't know, Warbuds is pretty cool. They made the entire Lord of the Rings soundtrack in what's called lo-fi, and I think it is very nifty. Am I allowed to stream it? Is it technically copyright infringement? I don't know, but I have 6 viewers and I don't want to find out yet. Although today, I think I had the highest concurrent viewer count I've ever had on stream. That's something to celebrate, Dad. Wow, that's great, son. I'm very happy for you. Thanks, Dad. Okay, I gotta let that dry just a little bit. I am a little concerned by all of the sprue goo I've put here. Let's...
So how do you set about cleaning that up if you got somewhere where you have too much?
Easiest way is take more Tamiya ultra thin plastic cement and just go over it a few times and it thins it out to what you need. There we go. Not that anyone's going to see the detail on the bottom of the foot, but I would know it's there. And I'm not going to abide by that. Okay, now, once that dries, I will be set. However, this is entirely way too much plastic rod as it's about to go into the camera on stream multiple times. So I'm going to cut that so it's much smaller. Now, I'm going to, once it's dried and fully set, I'm going to level it out with the base and line it up with the toe here, and then I can actually trim what I need off of that. Then, I'll take my base, drill a hole of the same diameter for the rod to go in at the same angle, and then I'll have a base for my Knight Errant to finally be able to stand on its own. Man, whew! And I'm all coming up on 4 hours today. That's a pretty good little wrap there. So I've managed to make, in today's one, I've managed to make the rock for my Knight Preceptor, finish the rock for my Knight Defender's base, put the plastic rod in my Knight Errant. Literally, at this point, all I have to do... What if you get cotton and made it look like dust coming off of your back foot? Ooh! That is actually a really good idea. I'm not going to lie. I might have to do that. That would be really cool. Yeah, Josh, you're giving me good ideas. I appreciate that. Okay. Alright, coming up on 4 hours. I think I'm at a pretty good spot. All that's left now is to just glue together my Knight Defender, glue the legs onto the torso, trim up the toes a little bit from the pieces of plastic sticking out of them, especially on the bottom. Build the shoulders. Yeah, this is a really good stopping point, I think. So, I want to say to everybody, really, thank you so much. This has been the most successful stream I've had so far, and I really only do this just to want to bring some entertainment to everybody who's enjoyed my content, and I haven't been able to post a full-length video just yet, so I appreciate your patience in that regard. But the support I've gotten has actually been wonderful, so thank you all so much. It really does mean a lot to me, and I think we are actually really starting to build a bit of a community here, which is wonderful. I think that's an amazing thing. So thank you guys for being a part of it. I appreciate you for watching the stream this far. If you liked what you saw, please feel free to leave me a like. If you didn't like what you saw, I really appreciate you guys watching as far as you have. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.